Nice.
Sorry, I'm running a little late.
Good save. No, you're actually not.
You're not
Well, I
running
was
late.
thrown off because the radio out there.
Yeah. Dude, it was not your fault.
No.
We've got some technical issues over there. You can see Buckley scrambling.
Yeah, he's over there smashing buttons.
Yeah, we've got some issues.
Well, I was outside. I was talking to salesman extraordinaire and host Luke Anderson.
Is there anything he can't do?
No, the man is everywhere. And I got thrown off because we have a radio out there, but the damn delay.
Well, you might have heard some dead air.
Yeah.
Because when the update was supposed to fire off, it didn't. And then I tried to fire it off with a hotkey, and my mouse won't click right now. So we're going to find out right here on air. Isaac, are you able to hit a hotkey? Does that work for you?
Stand by, please.
Okay. Well, you can keep talking about yourselves.
On-air engineering here, guys.
Old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. Waiting.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
All right.
That was me.
So something's wrong in here. Okay.
Yeah, because I heard the start of the open, and then I was like, oh, I've got a minute and a half, something like that. And then you're right, it went dead, and I was like, oh crap, they're on the air. So I came, busting in, but turns out I wasn't late.
You're getting bonus primetime today.
Bonus. Although is this really bonus? Like we're just
it was, yeah.
We're explaining why.
Well, now the bonus part's over because now I think it's after 3.
Yeah,
and
now
we're
we're
on TV
in. Yeah, we're in.
So now it's the show, but
we're in the thick of it.
If you're just turning on your radio, like right now,
you've missed nothing.
You missed 2 minutes of bonus primetime today,
which essentially means you've missed nothing. But hey, welcome in. It's a beautiful Friday.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, now. You were crying about the weather yesterday.
I was.
Yeah, you're back. Thanks, Buck. That was Buck firing.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, you were bitching about the weather. You were a weather complainer yesterday.
I was.
So
I remember that.
And I told you 86 and sunny.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Today.
I turned the sprinklers back on. I can't make up my mind.
Isn't this great?
It's back and forth.
It's so nice.
Yeah. Can't wait to go to Bi-Mart and get my hedge trimmer. A lot of stuff happening on the weekend.
Dude.
I plan on making my first pilgrimage out there.
But you need to go on Tuesday.
I know.
Lucky number Tuesday.
I know.
Come on, man.
But I kind of need it this week. I need to do the yard work. This is a big yard work weekend for me.
It sounds like you have 2 trips to Bi-Mart within the next 4 days.
Oh, believe me, I'm going to Lucky Number Tuesday. Make no mistake about that. I can't wait to hang out with the olds. I live amongst them, so now I'm going to shop.
You're going to be
them.
blown away.
I can't wait because I've seen the outside on Lucky Number Tuesday. So now it's just I'm going to go get Hawaiian food and Lucky Number Tuesday. I mean, come on.
You also might be able to catch a ride with the local senior home.
I see those a lot at the New Seasons.
The van.
Yeah, the van drops them off at New Seasons.
The little shuttles.
Yeah, and I love that the old people, boy, they love New Seasons. And I told you they do like concerts for them. They have like a little, it's like it's like a little cafeteria where you can eat like the hot bar. But they set up like little bands back there sometimes, and sometimes the olds are back there reading, or they just kind of congregate. There was a square dance that happened there once. I didn't know the olds were into square dancing, but that was the thing. Remember when you were did you have to square dance in elementary school?
Yeah, we did. We did square dance.
I thought about that. I was like, I was like, maybe they were forced to, because I remember like in like the 5th or 6th grade, there was like a week long like program in elementary school where we would square dance for some reason. Not sure why, but I remember square dancing.
You think they still do that with the kids out there?
It's a good question. They
teach them how to square dance.
They still do the recorders. I remember, at least with my kids. I remember having to get the little recorder and play like hot cross buns and.
Well, yeah, isn't that? I mean, that's kind of like the basic start of music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas square dance, I mean, what's the point?
Well, the question becomes: is there still PE, or have we?
I think there is.
Is there? Like I remember my kids in like junior high and high school. It was an elective. You could either like do music or drama or sing or do PE. And I'm trying to think.
It wasn't required?
No, not in middle school and high school. PE was not required.
Huh.
But in elementary school,
That's weird.
I think it was.
Was it required where you were?
I think you had to take it for like your first 2 years. I think you had to take something. And that could be general PE, that could be racket sports, it could be, weight class, whatever. But you had to do something. I think maybe you didn't have to as a junior or senior, but definitely had to through middle school.
Well, who didn't want to take PE? PE was great.
It's a goof around period.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this, Rob, but
you didn't want to?
A lot of kids hate PE.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
PE, like you don't do anything.
It's not cool or fun among the youngs.
Have you
scooter basketball?
Have you seen some of the kids out there?
Scooter hockey?
Remember when we were talking about the whole spectrum there? There's a lot of kids that when they had to take PE, again, I do believe the original treatment for autism was having dodgeballs thrown at you in PE class. There's a lot of those kids that don't want to do PE. They're not athletically inclined. They're picked on. I think for some people, PE was like nightmare fuel. There's a kid somewhere right now sitting like in a corner somewhere thinking about, wanting to throw a dodgeball at Mr. Benedict's head. I think that's a very traumatic thing for people that aren't physically inclined.
Do they teach Xbox classes now? Is that a thing?
Maybe Guitar Hero.
Yeah, something like that. I just, you scoot about. The parachute was always a big one. Loved a good parachute.
What was the point?
I don't know. It's just
Why do we have a giant? Do you remember the parachute?
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever.
It really like
Let's
what?
raise it up in the air.
Whoa.
Down.
Why?
Don't you dare rain on the parachute. I loved the parachute.
Why?
It was
It's
fun.
so dumb.
You do the igloo and
It
you
goes
throw all the
up,
balls
it goes
in the
down.
middle.
It's a sheet.
Yeah. Hey, dude, the parachute was great. Loved a good parachute when I was a kid. Hey, and then ooh.
Hey, that's an advertisement from our very own airwaves.
Yeah. And then there was like for everyone, like the climbing the rope or the pegboard, everyone feared that. That was nightmare fuel. Trust me, as like a husky as a little kid that had to shop in the husky teen section, dude, climbing that damn ladder, no one wanted that.
You talking about the pegboard? You said?
Yeah, there was the rope climb or the pegboard.
I was good at both of those because I was small.
You were small.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was not where that was a lot of like me, I'm
And
not-
even
not
before
feeling
class
so well
started,
today.
the locker room is a nightmare fuel for a lot of kids
yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's terrifying.
gotta get
Changing.
You had to get
They
naked for
make
the
you
first
get
time.
Yeah.
and then the PE teachers in the other room
Yeah.
staring at you through glass.
So there's so many kids now that are like, I just want to stay in the clothes that I'm in.
Yes.
I'm not doing anything.
Yes. I think that to your answer, who doesn't want to do PE? I think the answer is a lot of people don't want to do PE.
What percentage do we think that is now?
65, 75%?
High? Yikes.
I mean, I'm only going off of, and maybe this is just bad stereotype, but when I look around at the youth of America, I don't really see a lot of spry in the middle of the day. I know what I want to do: get together and play sport. That doesn't really seem like a thing amongst the general population, but I could be wrong.
A PE teacher is in on our YouTube chat, says that PE is high school required. However, the various PE classes that you can take vary. So you have to take something PE-wise to graduate.
You do in Oregon high schools?
I believe so. We'll see if he clarifies here. This is Nathan.
Hi,
So,
Nathan.
Shout out Nathan. Go PE teachers. I remember all of my teachers. I don't remember many, but I do remember my PE teachers for the most part. Mrs. Krebs, sweet tracksuits. We had Mr. Benedict, who was master of the shortest OP corduroy shorts that you've ever seen, with his initials monogrammed on them. Power move, by the way, DB. Mr. Sparks of Creepy Mustache fame. And yeah, I remember my PE teachers. Like that was like I don't know why. Like I don't remember my English teacher. I don't remember the woodshop guy, but I remember.
I remember almost
PE.
all my PE teachers too, for some reason.
Well, yeah, because it was fun.
I like
Saddle riders.
Yeah.
I told you about the saddle riders.
I think you have told about the
Yeah.
I don't know about the Saddle Riders.
Well, they were a husband and wife PE teaching
Yeah.
Was their last name Saddle Rider?
pair.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
tag
the
team.
saddle riders.
Wow, I thought
His
it was a
name
nickname.
was Jim, and I don't remember her name, but yeah,
Yeah.
they both taught PE.
Tag team.
The saddle riders.
Tag team style, which by the way is like the coolest name for a couple you could have. What are you doing? I'm going to hang out with the Saddle Riders. Just sounds cool. Sounds exotic. Instead of Dirk Benedict. Maybe it was Dave Benedict. I just remember DB. That man loved monogram clothing. And like all the PE teachers, there was always something it's like a little off, just a scooch.
Not with the saddle riders.
Now the Saddle Riders were right down the middle.
Well, I mean, they were amazing. Imagine what they talked about at home around
Yeah, hot PE talk.
the dinner. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they bonded over teaching kids scooter basketball.
Now the question becomes:
What a life.
Or PE is that hard? Is it
No.
rewarding?
Why
or-
would that be hard?
I don't know.
It's the easiest of all the.
Is that why people go into it, or do you have a love of physical education?
I mean, you'd have to ask a PE teacher, but
Yeah, can we ask? I don't have my computer open in front of me. Can someone text in Nathan and ask? Is that like a failed dream? You didn't have anything else. You're like, I might as well teach PE, or did you have a mission of like wanting to teach kids scooter basketball and then go outside and play softball when the weather got good, which was also an amazing time that when you got to leave and go to the softball fields, oh, forget about it.
So Tyler tells us that the state of Oregon requires 1 year equivalent of PE. So I'm guessing you have to take it if you're on a quarter system, you have to take it 3 times and then you're done.
So you have one
year. Basically, take it freshman year and you're done.
Sure. And I'm sure there's plenty of those. Like I think weightlifting is one that people take because you can just stand around and not lift weights.
Oh, now they have, and you can do. I think they have yoga ones too, which is very popular.
There you go.
So
Like we had a
fulfills the
weightlifting
requirement.
class
Wow.
and no one actually lifted weights. You just sat on a bench and like, I don't know, did jack squat.
Basketball coach made us take basketball conditioning, and it was before school, and it was awful.
Yeah, that's BS.
School.
Yeah.
How much would I have to pay either of you to go back to school?
The way it is now,
For anything.
It's not happening, man.
I mean,
Like as
surely-
ourselves, like I have
Yeah.
to show up at high
Yeah.
school tomorrow and be part of it.
Yes,
No.
or like a community college curriculum, like I don't know, couple years.
How about no?
I like learning, but I don't want to go back to a high school environment.
Well,
Would you ever take a class?
Yeah, I would for
Yeah.
something I'm interested in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that, like at a community college.
Yeah.
But like the idea of going back to high school, thanks, but no thanks. Like my kids always give me crap because they're like, you could have never, like there's actually rules. Like you could never get away with that. Like you can only miss like so many classes. There's like, I mean,
They're saying that you could never get away with your shenanigans
yes,
today.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I think high school when we went,
It was pretty loosey
no
goosey.
one cared
Well, for seniors.
for anything.
I mean, when you become a senior in high school, at least where I'm from,
Sure.
it's like,
Yeah.
where's Rob today?
Yeah, you're
We'll
fine.
see him later in the week.
Sure.
Nathan's back in. He says he wanted to be a math teacher, but wasn't smart enough for middle school math, so PE was his backup. However, best decision ever. Little to no stress, and I get to get the kids moving and active.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The kids are probably way better when you get them running around and
Can you get kids running around?
You
I
know.
don't know, man.
Nathan does elementary, so it's easy
Oh,
because they
that's a
love
little-
running around.
I'm just trying
That's
to
all they
think of like how you get like a bunch of uninterested 8th graders to do anything, let alone run around in a circle. Like, good luck with that.
Someone on the text line says now they just let the kids walk around the track on their phones. That's like what the
See, that's
because,
what
like, you have to go do a lap, and
wait,
if like
and
that's
you
how they
get
get them
paid
to
for
do
that
it.
as a PE teacher.
I
That's
think
fantastic.
that's what happens.
I want to be a PE teacher.
Yeah.
Hey
Anytime,
guys, go walk.
anytime when the weather gets nice, like sometimes I'll, whether I walk my dog by the school or I'll ride my bike and I'll go by a school. And it does appear to be a bunch of disinterested kids on their phones standing in a field. Like, and I'm like, oh, it's a
Wait.
PE class.
Question: haven't we talked about how, and maybe it's just not in effect yet? Aren't there some high schools now that are saying that you can't have your cell phones? The kids have to put away their cell phones.
I think that's part. I think they're trying to do that. I there was an article not too long
yeah,
ago, but
it's a new thing,
good luck.
but
with
it's
that.
not in effect yet.
I don't know. Have fun with that.
But if they can't use their phones, do they get them then for PE?
I don't know.
Because they're going outside.
There's
Or
a
maybe
lot
the
of the-
teacher's like, it's not worth the battle. I'm just going to let them break the
Dude,
rules.
I've seen clips of kids, and this is a little dangerous because it's like, you got a country full of kids, and you see a handful of videos, but where a teacher takes away a kid's phone and they lose their ass. Like teachers are getting punched because I guess like to a child, taking away their phone is like you're assaulting them. They view it as it is like the most like the horrendous thing you could ever do. I don't know how you teach nowadays. I really don't. With the phones and the distractions and the kids not giving 2 S's, dude, I don't know how you do it. God bless you teachers out there. I would put my head through a wall.
OPB story from May.
Mhm.
A bill to ban cell phones in Oregon schools is dead.
Oh, yeah. Parents saying no, that the kid needs to,
I think some districts still do it, but this would have required all of the state's
Yeah.
school districts to
Yeah.
bar students from using phones, bell to bell,
Yeah.
which would mean that PE they could,
Yeah.
walking on the
Well,
track.
and you hear from like parents
could
like,
not.
"What? I need to get a hold of my kid." No, you don't.
Yeah.
See, this
Why
is
would
the-
you want to?
Exactly. We get into this whole thing now where people are like, "Oh, there's no way I could live without my cell phone." We lived without cell phones for a long time, and everyone was fine.
You would like life without cell phones.
Dude, this is a controversial opinion, and and it makes me sound like 1,000 years old. But dude, I miss the days of. I miss the days of pre-cell phone, and I get it. There's a lot of great stuff you do on there, from shopping to your online banking and all that. But it was a simpler time, and I'm telling you, it was less stressful. Kids had less anxiety. It was lovely that you just left the house, and any of those problems that would arise, dude, those were problems for future you. You get home, there's your messages, and it was
You just had to be
simpler.
back by supper.
Yeah, I miss that. And maybe I'm romanticizing it, so I'm
No, it was better.
Well, you had to make your own fun.
Yes.
You had to get creative.
By the way, Ortner just popped in here.
Yeah, he
Ortner,
teaches
he's a
some people.
substitute
Yeah.
teacher, so he's done all the levels. He said elementary is awesome because there are no phones and the kids treat you like a god because it's like you're the fun teacher.
Yeah.
That it's getting them out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And he said that middle school and high school is like hell.
Yeah. Again,
Well, it's just the worst time of life.
yes.
Is it not?
And you're trying to
For
get
the
those
kids?
you're trying to get those kids who are awkward and sweaty and stinky anyways, and none of them are going to shower, and you probably just reek of like Axe body spray and God knows what. And then you're trying to get those kids to participate in I just the idea of an 8th grader that doesn't play sports and you're telling him that he's going to play basketball for a week. Good luck with that.
And Ortner also said on the phone thing that there's the occasional parent that says, well, if my kid doesn't have their phone, it's a safety issue. And so if you take their phones, they bitch about it.
Exactly. Kiss my ass. It's not a safety issue.
All right.
Kids are just entitled.
Ladies and gentlemen, opening segment. With bonus 2 minutes of us scrambling to
Figure out what's going on.
live engineer.
Yeah.
But we got it. We're on.
We figured it out.
We're hot. We're on.
Yeah.
You want some headlines?
Love some headlines. Little thin.
Well, no, there's. I just.
You all right?
Well,
You don't like what the headline is?
I don't.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
You know what I'm talking about?
Let's just dive into
Down
it.
on the bayou?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We've got rape.
Yeah, let's pull up some socks.
What?
You gotta pull yourself up, like bootstrap socks. You gotta hike up the socks. It's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable topic.
I've never heard that
Yeah.
turn of phrase.
All right. We'll go with it.
You never heard the pull up your socks?
I've heard like
pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's what I've heard.
I think is what you're talking about.
It's the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Same idea.
It's the same idea.
Headlines next on the Fan.
It's back. 1080 The Fan.
Welcome back to our show.
After a quick Google,
Hello.
the Portland
True
Public
story.
Schools have implemented starting next year, 2025-26, no cell phones.
Yeah.
They must be turned off and put away. And then a lot of teachers listen to the program, and they are saying, like in this person out in Milwaukee, they're saying Milwaukee does it right now. So phones apparently going away, and in some places already away.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Well, I just don't know how you're supposed to teach with
Yeah.
kids on their phones.
Yeah.
That's
And what do they have to do? They just put them in their locker or something?
it said the according to internet,
Just can't have them.
they have to be turned off and they have to be put away. Which
I like it.
you imagine the first 6 weeks of school, how many absolute that will be a disaster.
A lot of shaky legs.
Lot of shaky legs. Yeah. Well, and there's going to be kids that are going to not turn them off, and there's going to be kids that are going to try to hide it. And
Yeah.
how do you enforce it? And if I was a teacher, I would dread coming back to school knowing that this is the new policy and you're going to have to try to implement it. I'm waiting for the kid to be like, yeah, see what happens. Take my phone. See what happens.
Yeah. Kids don't have, they don't give many Fs.
No,
These days.
the kids don't fear.
Yeah, they don't have that fear of authority like they used to, like we did.
Absolutely.
What was that tipping point that kids just started saying, actually, the adult authoritarian just doesn't
I don't know, man.
like apply to me anymore?
It's a good question.
It used to be that like you just inherently kind of went along with whatever your teacher, your coach, your neighbor who just happens to be an adult like would say, and now kids are like, no.
Oh yeah, dude,
When did that fully flip?
Dude, it's crazy. I think I don't want to go down those roads. There's been a cultural shift, and you see it like out at stores and stuff where I've seen kids call their parents like the B word, just flat out say, no, I'm not doing it. I mean, it's just, and I think kids just figured out that they can call your bluff, and it is, what are you going to do? Because if you do something, you're on video, and that's, I don't know what if that's not your kid, and even if it is, and a kid really does say, I'm not going to do it, I don't think you're allowed to force them to do anything. I think you will get in trouble.
P1 Scott says that Lake Oswego has a no phone policy, and talking with the teachers, they say it's amazing. At lunchtime, the kids actually speak to each other.
No way.
That's awesome.
How about that?
And this is the other one: is parents don't respect teachers. That's
true.
It used to be if mom came to school, it was your ass, and now a lot of times the parents side with the kid. You're not going to do that to my child.
So we've got an NBA player being accused of.
It's a bad word. You don't want to say it.
I hate to say this
I know
word.
it's uncomfortable.
Rape.
And that's not it. Because now it sounds like you're putting some whimsy behind it. You're
It
making
sounds
it
like
sound,
you're giving yourself an Italian last name.
yeah. Rape. No, that's
Yeah, you're right.
No, that's not.
Or
All
French,
right.
maybe.
Strike that from the record.
Yep. Nope.
Isachi. Look, we have rape.
We have the accusation
Yeah,
of
that's
rape.
what. That's
And
what it
don't
said.
forget
Accused.
physical, emotional, and financial abuse
Yeah.
over many years.
And we are talking about Pelicans forward Zion Williamson.
Yes.
The woman is identified as Jane Doe. She accuses him of continued pattern of abusive, controlling, and threatening behavior over the course of a relationship that started during Williamson's freshman year at Duke and lasted from 2018 to 2023. It's a 12-page civil complaint that says Williamson's alleged actions occurred in multiple states, including Louisiana and California. 2 alleged incidents of rape in 2020, the first in Beverly Hills. She told him she was tired and wanted to go to sleep, but he told her that she could not without having sex with him.
Apparently, that was a rule that she wasn't, according to her.
Then he pinned her down.
Yeah, she says that she wasn't allowed to go to sleep unless she had sex with him first. That was like a house rule.
And then he threw her phone across the room.
Yeah.
He also choked her.
Yes.
So not
to
good.
the point of her passing out or losing consciousness multiple times, according to the suit.
And the second was in October of 2020, where she says she was violently raped after expressing plans to visit a friend in San Diego. In both instances, the woman accused Williamson of taking her phone for a period of time. So, yeah, not good.
No.
Things just keep getting worse for Zion, who, a lot of Blazer fans are like, would you?
Yeah.
I don't think you can touch that guy.
Well, 1, he never plays. 2, this is hanging over his head. 3, he's very immature. He has the weight problems. And by the way, this isn't the first time that he's had, I don't even like saying this, like relationship problems, but this was a relationship.
Oh, he's messy.
Yeah, he's very messy.
He's messy.
Remember he had the one girl that was melting down because he had
the Mariah Mills. It was almost like extortion or something.
He had like 2 girls pregnant at the same time, or he had a girl pregnant and she was like a porn star or an only, she did porn and he was with her and that thing melted down and she was trying to, he just has he has a very, very messy private life. And I want to be fair to him in this too. This is a civil complaint. It's not criminal. She's not attempting to file criminal complaints. I didn't read in there where she called the police. She was there for many, many years. Zion and his attorney say that this was a consensual, casual relationship, which if you've read through any of the Twitter stuff that's out there, and it seems to be pretty accurate, he certainly has had plenty of casual, consensual relationships. She's suing for between $8 and $50 million. So some people are going to go down the road of you were with this guy for years and now you just want money from him. Who knows what the truth is? You'll let the courts figure that out. So whether he did or didn't, you said it best. It's messy. Everything about him is messy. From his attitude on and off the court, his ability to be on the court, his weight and his personal life. I'm with you, dude. I want nothing to do with him.
Can't touch him.
No.
Can't touch him.
No, this is just one of those where you just say, dude, thanks, but no thanks. And he's young.
How old is he?
I think he's like 24 or 25. Like it feels like he's been around a lot longer. Dude, he's 24 years old.
About to turn 25 in July. God, he was born in 2000.
Right? And so
weird.
Zion, he feels like a baby. Because when you hear that at 25, but he's been around for so long, and when he's on the floor, he's one of the most efficient players of all time. But he's never done anything in New Orleans. He has meant 0 wins to that place. He makes a ton of money. I used to be back when they had Damian Lillard here. That was one guy that I always like, dude, maybe go take a swing at that guy.
$37 million a year.
Because it felt like a star that was attainable and they were tired of his crap. And maybe you could get him here and convince him to get his act together. But at this point, just year after year, thanks, but no thanks. Regardless of what happens with this, because he won't do any jail time over this. If he gets convicted, it'll be a civil thing. By the way, someone got convicted of this exact civil complaint and he ended up being elected president. So, this won't have any bearing on his ability to play in the NBA, but do you want this? Because there's always something. There just is always something. And that's my thing with any athlete, with anybody.
It's called sports.
It's not that hard to stay out of the headlines. It really isn't. So whether it's Stephon Diggs or whether it's Zion or Johnny Manziel, I mean, this goes back, to Ryan Leaf. I mean, you can go all the way back to any player, anyone that is consistently in the press. Unless you are just so talented and you're such a unique player, if you're not that 1 in a million guy, dude, thanks for coming. I'll take someone that's 20% less skilled, but comes with none of this baggage.
All right, we have NFL trade coming up next, but first, Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan. In the NFL, reports indicate the 49ers are finalizing a trade with the Eagles in which San Francisco will acquire edge rusher Bryce Huff. The 49ers expected to send a middle second-round pick back to Philly in return. Some concerning news in the NBA, as we just discussed. Pelican superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape as well as physical, emotional, and financial abuse in Los Angeles County by a former girlfriend. A pair of Ducks games on the diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opens the Eugene Regional, taking on 4-seed Utah Valley. First pitch from PK Park at 6 o'clock. You can hear it over on 910 ESPN Portland and see it on ESPNU and ESPN+. Oregon softball Coming off a walk-off loss to UCLA on Thursday night, they'll try to fight off elimination in Oklahoma City tonight, taking on Ole Miss. That one starts at 6:30 on ESPN. Meanwhile, down in Corvallis, the Beavs opened their regional in baseball against 4-seed St. Mary's. First pitch from Goss Stadium is at 6 o'clock, and you can see it on ESPN+. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com.
Aloha, Portland sports fans. It's Marcus from the 808. Bro, you know what I do when I get tired from the day-to-day? I hit up 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Get some terry chicken, a curry bowl, or Kalua pig at a Hawaiian brew or island cocktail, and I'll be feeling all my ka'iloa in no time.
The Fan.
Hi. Hey, Joey Harrington returns to our program today. He'll be on at 5:30.
What? Vacation.
For story time. A couple more headlines, and then we'll get to the 5-11 model of the college football playoff.
Seems to be gaining some traction.
So they say it is.
But I don't know.
I've got a theory about what's going on.
Yeah, wake me when we actually settle on something, right?
Exactly. The Niners slowly renovating their defensive line.
Yes.
Made a trade today.
Well, remember, when they were really cooking, that Niner D-line was the best in the business.
But it's gotten old.
It is. I mean, there just isn't a lot of elite talent there anymore. It's all kind of gone away. And, I mean, you still have Bosa, but...
And they've tried some different guys that didn't work out, like Hargraves and stuff like that. But
that was a terrible signing. I mean,
it was. But they have taken swings on free agents that have not panned out.
Exactly.
Well, the Niners have traded for Eagles edge rusher Bryce Huff.
Yeah, who was their big addition last year and signed a big deal, and he was a complete non-factor. That's how good Philadelphia was. This was their big offseason signee, and it didn't work, and it didn't matter because their D-line was that good. So, this is one of those cases where, he was a hot commodity. He did nothing for Philadelphia. Basically, was a non-player. And so, if you're the Niners, you're buying low and hoping that what got him that big contract, you can see more of that in the 49er defense.
So the Eagles are paying $9 million of the $16.75 million in fully guaranteed money that he'll get this year.
Yeah. So you put
so
him
the
in,
Niners really only have to pay $8 million.
Yeah. So that's why I said you're buying low.
It's
and
nice.
for Philadelphia,
That's a good move.
You're just exactly. Because if it doesn't work, whatever.
And now that they have Robert Saleh back at defensive coordinator, they think he's pulling the strings on a lot of this stuff and sees something that he likes.
Well, Saleh worked with him with the Jets.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, that's correct.
So,
and again, there was a reason why they signed him to a big deal. They thought he was going to be something. And, sometimes it is just a change of scenery. And when you look through the Niners, like there's just, outside of Bosa, right? You got Alfred Collins, Jordan Elliott. They did sign Mikael Williams, who's the rookie out of Georgia. So we'll see what happens there. I mean,
they got rid of Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
They got rid of Collins.
Yeah. This should be one of those things that you
and
plug.
Hargrave.
Yeah. You'll plug him in and he'll get some reps and, I think the Niners are going to be better than people think they are. I think when you look at the 49ers, and maybe I'm giving too much credit to the organization, I'm giving too much credit to Kyle Shanahan, but when they're healthy, the Niners are good. Plain and simple. You can go back and look at any year. When they are healthy, that is a playoff team. That is a very dangerous team. When they have been bad, they've been ravaged by injuries. I don't care who you are. You can't lose. And I think last year, they lost more snaps than any team in the NFL, and it was meaningful snaps. And so a lot of the players that ended up leaving in the offseason are names, but they either were old, hurt, didn't contribute last year, or they were being phased out. Like, it's the Deebo Samuel thing. We do this all the time in the NFL where when Stephon Diggs leaves the Bills, what do? How do you replace Stephon Diggs? Well, the reality is he was a name, but he wasn't a huge impact player. Deebo Samuel at one point was a huge deal for the 49ers. And you saw that last year without Ayuk and without McCaffrey, Deebo was a non-factor, and he was like an expensive non-factor. So you're getting rid of older, expensive talent,
and not just a non-factor, like a detriment. He was dropping balls all over the place.
And so you've moved on. So even though people are going to look at the Niners and be like, "Well, you've lost so much," the Niners, you're going to have to take your pill, because when you're an elite team and you have to turn the page, you do have to eat some money, and so you got to take some medicine for a year or so. But last year was part of already taking that medicine. And now you got a new crop of guys going to come in, and you're going to get younger. You're going to get more athletic, and you're going to have to rely on your growth and development. And I think Robert Saleh coming back, and hopefully a healthy McCaffrey. And maybe that's all this hinges on, because when McCaffrey's healthy, he's the engine that drives that. And if he's healthy, the Niners are going to be okay. If he continues to be ravaged by injuries and he doesn't play, well, then you take Saquon Barkley away from Philadelphia, and that's not the same offense.
A couple of other notes. We've got our college baseball games firing up tonight for the road to the College World Series.
We had a nice one in the softball. I mean, I guess it was a loss, but that
was a good
Oregon
game.
UCLA game was a great game.
Yeah, the Ducks lost.
Ended up in a walk-off the wrong way. Well, I guess the right way if you're a Bruin fan. But
the Beavers play St. Mary's tonight in Corvallis, and the Ducks play Utah Valley.
Yes. Which kind of blows me away, because that was
Eugene.
Well, Utah Valley was the junior college in the same town as Provo. Well, one town.
Wasn't it Utah Valley State?
It was Utah Valley State.
Why do they do this?
I don't know. Now it's just, it's a real school now. That was like that was where you go when you got kicked out of BYU, and that's where the you wanted to date the girls from Utah Valley, not BYU.
Yeah. They were a little sluttier over there.
Look, I don't like that term. They were lovely, lovely ladies, and were nice. Just say,
don't get me wrong, I like the tatted up whore too.
There was one of those like, hey, I got a girl you should meet. You should go to BYU. You should go to UVA or Utah Valley. And they're like, oh, Utah Valley. You're like, all right, that's better. It was in Orem, the sister city to Provo, and now it's like a real school, which throws me for a loop.
So this is all very vague, but it says Utah Valley dropped state from its name as part of a larger rebranding effort aimed at better reflecting its identity and purpose. The university decided to remove state to align with its evolving role as a comprehensive institution focused on access, community engagement, and innovation.
And how does dropping state do that?
That's what That's what I don't
Well,
get.
are they still college? Because when we called it was
University.
Oh, because when I was there, I never went there, but when I was in Provo, it was UVSC. It was Utah Valley State College.
It's UVU now. Utah Valley University, bro. I see it right here on their website.
Don't even recognize you.
I'm gonna take a campus tour.
But
What town you said?
It's Orem, Utah.
Orem.
That's where mostly I lived. Me and Provo, it was best if I lived outside of the Provo city limits.
Well, it looks real nice out there.
Orem was a little bit more my speed.
There's even a black guy.
Oh, all right, go Orem. Shout out to Sydney. She was great.
Black, please. Thank you. So the college baseball teams get underway tonight.
Yeah.
And then if the Beavs get to the Super Reg, they'll host it.
And I think the Beavs are an hour before the Duckies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
And then the Ducks are at 6. And then if the Ducks make the Super Reg, depending on how North Carolina does, they may have to go out to Chapel Hill.
Yeah, the Ducks need an upset, and the Beavs, if they win, because they're a top 8 seed, they get it no matter what.
But this is exciting.
Absolutely.
I love the college baseball tournament.
Well, and the softball tournament as well. And so if you don't know,
That's the World Series.
Oh yeah, that is the World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
the
different.
regionals to get there.
Yeah.
The Ducks softball team is in the World Series right now, and the regionals are 4 teams, double elimination, right? So you lose twice, and then you just round robin until there's one team left standing.
So the Ducks they've never won the softball title, correct?
I don't believe so. No.
No.
Is this the furthest they've ever been?
I think it's possible this is their first trip. I will double check.
Now, check me if I'm wrong here too. Has Oregon baseball ever made the World Series?
Never. They've come close.
Yes.
They've come one win away twice,
Yes.
I believe. But no, they've never been to Omaha.
So, and last time I
They
checked,
do the uniform thing if they get there?
ooh, maybe. I think I'm not mistaken.
Wear cool
I
helmets?
may be mistaken, but I think Oregon State has been to a college World Series.
I think so too.
I think.
Hey, this says
I'd have to check.
Oregon has been to the College World Series, 1954.
Oh, well,
no.
not since the restart of the program.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They had a break there.
Yeah, because they went away in like the Title IX era. I think they went away in the late 70s, early 80s.
And
then
I
didn't
don't
come
know if
back
there's
till-
any truth to it, but Beaver fan loves to do the. They only brought baseball back because of
because we
Oregon
started
State.
winning them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of Oregon State.
Well, isn't that kind of true?
I don't know.
I think they wanted to have baseball all along.
I do not know the inception of the re-energizing of the Oregon baseball program, but I do know when they did it, they went out and got that big name from was it Cal State?
Pepperdine. It was George
was it
Horton.
Pepperdine. Yeah,
George.
yeah.
Or was it? Wait, was it Pepperdine or was it Fullerton?
I thought it was Fullerton. I thought it was Cal State Fullerton, but I could be wrong. But he was like a big name. He had won a College World Series or two, and so
He was a huge hire for a program that was starting from scratch.
Yeah.
He was from Fullerton.
yeah,
There you
Cal
go.
State Fullerton. And that's kind of a fun part about college baseball is like a Pepperdine or a Cal State Fullerton can win. Hockey's like that too. It's not like always big powerhouse schools.
Yeah, this won't shock you at all, but I was listening to a podcast about college baseball betting, and they were saying that some of the teams this year that you wouldn't necessarily expect, like have real shots, like Southern Miss is really good, and UC Irvine is really good. They've been
Yeah.
top 10 teams this year.
I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look no further. Not throwing any shade. Oregon State has won 3 national championships.
all since 2008.
It's freaking insane that in Corvallis and with it's limited resources in Corvallis. It's insane. Not necessarily a baseball hotbed. And Pat Casey built. I mean, you could make the argument it's the most successful of the main core sports of any university in the Northwest. Now, if you want to go Oregon track, but I'm saying of the core 4 that
Sure.
we view. There has never been a program in the Pacific Northwest at any spot that has achieved anywhere near what Oregon State baseball has. And that still blows me away. And even though Casey's gone, that program continues to thrive. It's incredible.
7 College World Series.
7 College World Series, 3 national championships, all since when was the first national championship?
20.
Yeah, I want to say it was like maybe like as Buck said, 07, 08, something like that.
2006.
2006.
Because they went back to back.
Yeah.
6 and 7, and then.
So
18.
and so obviously before that, they were on the rise. So in the last 25 years, they have built that into an absolute giant, and that is unbelievable to me.
By the way, Oregon softball has been to the College World Series plenty of times, 8 to be exact.
they've never won it.
No, they've never won.
Never won it, and baseball hasn't been since 1950. 50.
So who does softball play now?
They play Ole Miss tonight. Hot toddy. Hotty toddy? Is that what they say?
What?
Hotty toddy? That's like the Ole Miss cheering cry. It's like a War Eagle thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Go Owls.
Oh, yeah. Hotty toddy. I can't say I knew that.
That's like their greeting and their cheer.
Hot toddy is a rallying cry and tradition at the University of Mississippi, commonly used as a greeting or cheer amongst students. Its origins are debated, with some theories linking it to a cheer used during World War II. Well, of course, I always thought hot toddy is a warm alcoholic beverage,
And
right?
it is.
Virginia Tech, regimental band. Ooh, some people think there was a band called the Heidi Tidies, which is a little uncomfortable. So I guess we don't really know. It's been around for a while.
It's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, we love sports. 511. That's the new model. Is it really gaining traction? We'll find out next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window Nation brings you the window into the Fan. On-demand YouTube video shorts with your favorite fan shows and hosts. The window into the Fan is brought to you by Window Nation. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan Suk on 1080 The Fan.
Well, the reports are that the 5-11 model for the college football playoff expansion format is picking up steam.
Which would just be 16 teams, 5 conference champs,
Yep.
the Power 4, and then one from the group of, what is it a group of 5 or group of 6 now? I think it's going to be a group of 6 with the Mountain West and the Pac-12. But anyway, the non-powers, you get one, your best team, the highest ranked team, and then 11 at-large berths with no affiliation, just top 11.
Whoever they are.
Whoever they are.
Yeah.
Because originally it felt like the 4-4 model, 4-4-2-2, where the SEC and the Big Ten guaranteed 4 teams, and then the Big 12 and the ACC guaranteed 2, one from the group of whatever, and then the 3 at large. But that seems to, at least right now, not be the...
No, see, I think
You think they're going back to that?
I think this is all bullshit. I think what's happening is, so if you notice where all the 5-11 chatter is coming from, one, the coaches like it.
Yes.
Because they don't really even, they want it to be based upon merit.
Yes.
And I understand that, but the coaches really don't have much say. I mean, they may think they do, but they really don't.
Yes.
The other place it's coming from is from the ACC and the Big 12. So I think that this is just my philosophy or opinion here, that I believe that Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, has a good relationship with the media, and probably a better relationship than old angry Greg Sankey. And we heard Sankey get really upset the other day, and now Yormark is coming out, and I think he's floating the idea that 5-11 is picking up because that's his model. That's the one that he wants. Yeah. So he is using this as his platform, or he's using the media to get this narrative out there, and they are pushing it. I mean, I've seen multiple stories where they're like, oh, it's picking up steam. He's the only one saying it's picking up steam. If you've noticed, Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, who's from the Big Ten, have not said that. And we all know that those are the two guys that are running this. And Yormark even said that. He said, even though the Big Ten and the SEC are leading these discussions, those conferences have a great responsibility that goes with it. So I believe, again, just my opinion, I believe Yormark is just trying to get what he wants, and he's trying now to do it through the media because he isn't getting what he wants in those meetings. It's
possible. I mean, it's a valid point. I mean, the only one we've heard from the SEC is, and again, this is all rumors. I haven't heard any coaches, but they say the coaches. And what does that even mean? Do 3 coaches like it? Do 8 coaches like it?
Kirby liked it. Lane Kiffin liked it. 5-11, I mean.
Yeah, the 5-11.
Yeah, so I don't know. Other than that, I mean, that's just what I read.
So, and I guess the idea too with the 5-11 is then they wouldn't go to a 9-game conference schedule. So do they like the 5-11 because of the 5-11, or do they like the 5-11 because then they can keep an 8-game schedule and schedule another patsy?
That's the other thing that the conference doesn't like.
Yes.
The conference wants a 9-game schedule because it's more revenue.
And the coaches don't, because that means another game that you can lose.
So again, I just think the coaches, I mean, we can keep printing what the coaches think. It doesn't really matter.
No, coaches don't vote.
They don't. It's the presidents.
The presidents, and so the AD gets together with the president, who gets together with the chancellors, and more importantly, they get together with the board of trustees, and they talk about numbers.
So I would be stunned if it's not the automatic qualifier model.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Yormark. I think Yormark's really smart.
Sure.
He's really held the Big 12 together.
He has. He has been amazing.
Yeah. He's done a great job with that. And I think the ACC commissioner, I don't even know who the ACC commissioner is.
I'd have to look that up. I don't know that off the top of my head. But if you look,
he's in a worse spot.
Yeah, if you look at a couple years ago, the idea that the Big 12 is here and the Pac-12 isn't is maybe the biggest upset in sports history since the Miracle on Ice.
Pretty amazing.
And it's funny you mentioned like the mouthpiece that he's using, the media. This reminds me of when all the Pac-12 dingleberries were talking to members of the media, and one of them locally here, who was just being used as an absolute pipeline for Pac-12 propaganda. Oh no, it's the media deal is going to happen any minute, and no, there's all these reports of schools looking elsewhere. Dude, they sang a song and dance to certain members of the media here and by the way, they all came from where? Oregon State, and Washington State. Why? Because that was what they were trying to put out there. When we all know behind the scenes that it was all a load of hooey.
It is very similar, I think,
Yes.
because we all know what this all boils down to. It boils down to money,
Yes.
and it boils down to the SEC and the Big Ten. That's it. So your mark, you can throw these stories out there. It's cute that everybody's talking about 5-11. I'd be stunned if it's not an automatic qualifier model.
Well, I just don't know why. If you're the SEC and the Big Ten and you don't care about pissing off the other conferences, because why would you? Are they going to leave without you? Unless you're just literally out of the goodness of your heart, why would you ever give up the 4 automatic bursts? Because
Exactly. You don't have to.
You heard from the SEC. They're like, well, if we just did it on this last year, we'd get 6 in. Because in the 16, there would have been 6 of you. But with 4 automatic guarantee slots, you're still most years going to get another team or 2 in. Do you really think, based on that 5-11 model, that you're going to get like 9 teams in? And even under the 4-team model, the at-large burst, if you had a dominant year where you have 9 or 10 great years, you're still going to get them in. I'm with you. Outside of the extra conference game, and maybe that is the ultimate, like, we don't want to deal with that, I just don't see why the Big Ten or the SEC wouldn't be in favor of the 4 automatic bursts. Because what's more likely, you have a down year where everyone beats each other up, or some magical year where you have 8 teams, and somehow under the other system, those teams wouldn't be granted the at-large bursts. I can't see the argument behind it.
And that's why we'll get that eventually.
Jim Phillips, by the way.
Jimmy Phillips.
Jimmy
Used to
Phillips.
be the AD at Northwestern.
Good old JP.
I'm very confident.
Yeah. Well, that was for the good of the game.
That was George Kliavkoff, who
Boy.
just continued to confident.
That was right before it all crumbled.
All before it
Right
crumbled.
here on this program.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was very
I
confident.
remember there was a report in the
Yeah.
morning. They're like, "Oh no, the
I'm
media
very
deal's going to be
confident.
signed," and everyone was like, "Oh my God, they pulled it out of the fire," and there it is.
Good luck to me. Yeah, now. Mountain West, quick Mountain West follow up. Well, actually, it's not the Mountain West. It's like the new Pac-12.
Yeah.
And the update you didn't know you needed.
But we did.
It's a sports update. Well, it's not. I mean, it's not like a sports snort.
Yeah.
It's about a player
Hmm.
of sports.
Not a player of a certain sport, just of all sports.
I don't know. I saw a thing about a guy who's doing a thing now, and I'm like, whoa.
Guys being dudes.
Is that a good tease?
Let's talk about guys being dudes.
That is next on the Fan. Here now.
680, The Fan.
All right, welcome back. Nice to have you along. Nice little Friday out here in the Pacific Northwest.
More importantly, as Buckley has pointed out, let's go Mets go.
Yeah.
Apparently there's someone on the YouTube chat every day.
Yeah, I've
Wait, there's
noticed.
somebody on the YouTube chat?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people in the YouTube chat. But
What?
D Nathan C, almost daily, at least when I notice it, there's an LFGM, which is Let's Effing Go Mets.
Yeah.
Every day, and then I always check the time, and it's like right at first pitch. So
Shout out to that guy right there.
There
They're
you go,
getting ready to
D.
take
Nathan
on
C.
the juggernaut that
Yeah.
is.
The Rockies.
What is the Colorado Rockies?
Yeah, David Peterson's pitching, former Oregon Duck.
What is Colorado Rocky?
They just showed a stat that David Peterson, since last season, has the 10th best ERA in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Going into the season, the Mets had like all these pitching questions. It's actually been really stinking good. Like, it's
Can you get Juan Soto to hit?
apparently not.
can
Although
you get Juan Soto to care?
Is he at 220 now?
I think at 222. I think
222?
last I saw. Let me just say this to everyone freaking out about Juan Soto.
And they are.
He'll be fine. When they signed Frankie Lindor to that contract, which is it's not 700 and whatever million, but Frankie Lindor had a big contract. They did the same thing to Lindor. Because he started off slow, and it's like, oh my God, he paid him all this money, and Juan Soto will be fine. Juan Soto isn't just going to decide to suck. All right? He'll be fine. He's 224, 8 home runs, 25 RBI. He'll be fine. I'm not worried. He'll be all right.
Okay.
So his entire career, he's been an absolute stud. And just now he's going to decide that he got paid, that he's dog ass? Come on.
Well, he's certainly playing like dog
Man,
ass.
You know, it happens.
Perhaps he should pull his head out of his ass.
Well, we'd like him to lose 20 pounds and,
Oh, he's getting fat now?
Oh, yeah, he's getting fat.
What are they paying him? 70 million?
750 something?
So is he getting like 70 million a year?
Yeah.
You need to get the cob out of your ass.
So,
Man.
when you get that, so he's only getting 61, but then he got a $75 million signing bonus.
Is he the highest paid player
no,
in sports?
I think it's still Ohtani.
Well, but Ohtani doesn't get that much. He deferred a lot of his.
Well, but that's
But
horse crap.
on the value
but it's
of
true.
the years and
Yes.
the money, he gets more.
Well, no, on the value of the years and the money, it's Ohtani. But Ohtani only collects $2 million a year right now
Right? Yeah, we're
because
saying the
he's
same thing.
deferring.
I know, but that's stupid.
I mean, but it's the way it is. So if you're talking about the person who is going to bank the most money just from their playing,
in North America, because there's soccer players that make more than this.
it's Juan Soto.
Yes, there's soccer players that make more.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the United States of
Yes,
America.
than Juan Soto is.
Baseball, football, basketball, hockey.
Yes.
Juan Soto,
America, yeah.
the man who is batting 224,
Yeah, better than the 222 that we thought.
makes it's 224 actually.
Yeah.
Makes more money than anybody on the planet. In the country.
In the country.
That's incredible.
That is correct.
It's absolutely incredible.
And again, he'll be fine. So if we did that per year, so what do we got? He is averaging
oh no.
well, no, 51 a year.
What?
15 if you take it's 765 was the total value and it's 15 years.
Oh, okay.
So
But he's getting 61 this year.
Yeah. So I mean, because he signed he signed some signing bonus and all that, but over the course of the contract, it will come out to an average of 51 a year.
Your guy in the text line saying he makes $70K in at bat, which seems a little inflated.
So to be fair to Juan Soto,
They're really trying hard to defend him. Right now.
NBA players make more than 51.
Yeah, they do.
They don't sign for 765.
Curry's making like 56.
Yeah, so let's not.
LeBron's making 55.
And those bums.
And isn't
those absolute bums?
Isn't Dak Prescott at 60?
I think
60 million?
He's right up there.
Didn't they pay him? He's like the highest paid average per year quarterback
Smiles and glory holes.
He is making
He'll make 60 million this year.
A lot of money.
Am I wrong?
Well,
actually, no, because the guaranteed part is going to.
I know it's weird because when you look at salaries, especially in football, all the books are cooked because you front load it. So he signed a 4-year, $240 million extension. So the average annual value is 60 mil, but obviously it's not 60 per year because they play with the numbers. But yes, Dak is making 60. So I ask you this. What would you rather have? Juan Soto at 51 or
Ooh.
Dak Prescott at 60?
Ooh.
All of a sudden, it's not so bad, huh?
Can I say neither?
Yeah. Can I punt?
No, you got to take one. You jerk.
Dak's good,
And aren't we? I mean,
but 60.
isn't it also about like committing a certain percentage of your salary too? Like it's not just 61 versus 50, right? Or whatever the number
Although
was.
Dax is tax free. There's no state tax. New York will get you.
Neither.
Soto's a bigger star, obviously. I mean, Soto's upside is.
But Dak's more important to
But
what you need to do.
Soto's kind of not really. I don't know. He's a little overrated.
I guess opportunity cost. If you don't have Dak, what are you left with? Who's your quarterback?
Yeah.
That I need to know the answer.
They
to
didn't
that. I'll
need-
say Dak.
They didn't need to sign Juan Soto, but the owners.
Why not?
The owners got billions. Who gives a
Who
rip?
cares?
Yes. And let me say this to every Mets fan: it's not your money. It didn't stop
God,
him
you're
from.
hot about Soto.
I am. I'm defending.
You're being a little defensive about Soto.
I'm
I can
defending
tell
Juan.
you're worried.
No, I'm fine. He's gonna be fine.
You're worried.
It's not their
The
money.
more you say he's going to be fine, the more it lets me know how worried you are.
Let me say this too. They still signed Pete Alonso, who's been amazing. So why don't we combine the Alonso and Soto contracts, and then we divvy it up, and it's been fine.
What was I going to tell you?
Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, 1 year playing over in with the Saudis.
100?
Dude, that dude made $100 million.
Yeah. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah. Those Saudis.
Yeah, he just smiled and pretended like he was loving it, and he cashed those checks, and now he's off again.
And there, I believe the thing around that was, I think they paid the taxes on it too. I think he just got that money.
Hey, man. It's good if you can get it.
Yeah, Steph's at 53.
LeBron's 55?
Let's see where LeBron is. Yeah, LeBron's at. Is this from? No, this says February 12, 2000. Yeah, so this year. He said LeBron's 49.2.
Okay.
A lot of soccer guys in there, some boxers. The John Rahm made 85. That's a lot of the live guys are on there, making huge money.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, last year Dak he made $86 million last year.
Dak?
Because of the
Why?
side.
The bonus?
They front loaded it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Giannis made 47. A bunch of NBA guys are right in that 40 to 50, or high 40s. But they're saying that one of these super maxes are going to come up, whether that's Luka or Giannis or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They said there's going to be an NBA player making $100 million bucks.
Do we appreciate enough how rich Dak Prescott is? Do enough people know that?
No.
That kind of didn't really make a lot of headlines, did it?
No. It's kind of sneaky because when you talk about the best players and the highest paid players in the NFL, Dak doesn't come to mind.
No, but he's the highest
I
paid
believe
guy.
he is the highest player. Yes, he is the highest
Joe
paid.
Burrow, he makes more than Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Jared Goff, $76 million? Jeez.
But again,
signing bonus.
And so you got to look at the total value of NFL contracts.
It's wild out there.
Because
why didn't I play in the NFL? You know?
Yeah, the average is Dak at 60, Burrow at 55, Allen at 55, Jordan Love 55, Lawrence 55. Remember, all these guys want, when the market gets reset, it's like, I want that. The most offensive one, Tua at 53.
Jordan Love, you said, is at 55?
Jordan Love's at 55. That's kind of offensive.
That's pretty offensive.
That stinks. Trevor Lawrence at 55 stinks too.
That stinks bad.
Yeah.
Love will give you more than Lawrence will.
I mean, look, you can say when Prescott was healthy 2 years ago when he got that contract.
Yeah.
He was,
I think that Dak he still has time to live up to that.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but boy.
Dude, Kyler Murray stinks at 46. He sucks. And the one that hurts is Deshaun Watson, 46.
Yeah.
And that's guaranteed.
It's rough out there.
That is rough out there. But I mean, most of the guys, Gino at 37 probably stings some people. That's probably one of those you're like, what?
Okay, kids. We got to nothing we wanted to there.
No.
What?
Other than the fact that we can all agree that Juan Soto is going to be fine.
What?
And it was a wise investment.
What?
What?
Yeah. I want you to admit Juan Soto.
What? Yeah. No, I don't think he is going to be fine. I think he's going to be wildly average. for the Mets.
How many years of this would it take before he was the most hated man in New York?
Oh, months.
Because remember,
years.
the Yankees, all Yankee fans already hate him.
Yeah.
And Met fan is.
I would imagine Met fan is already teetering, is he not?
It's
not. They're not known for their patience.
It's not great.
They're doing well collectively, though. Their
Yes.
record is good.
Yes.
If they were bad, it would be a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. If the Mets stunk.
Well, Alonso's taken a lot of the heat off of
Yes.
Soto.
Alonso's
Because
been
Alonso wasn't that good last year.
No, he's having a big year.
This year he is.
Yeah, he's having
but
a
not
monster
last
year.
But if they were sub 500, there'd be a way different reaction right now.
Like if they miss the postseason and Soto's hitting 230, and let's say he gets better, but let's say he hits 235 with 25 and 70,
Oof.
and they miss the postseason.
Trade.
Ain't trading that contract.
Wow. Okay. The update you didn't know you needed. Next on the Fan.
What?
The home of
we were away, I was feverishly working with the 1080 The Fan research department, which is Google.
Yeah.
And I was looking at batting averages, which isn't, it's not the end-all to be-all metric, but just team batting average, because you were talking about the Mets. And the Mets and Royals are right in the middle. They're 245, 246, which isn't great, but
we stink with runners in scoring position.
It's middle of the pack. And, of course, the Rockies are the worst.
Yeah.
They're down there at 218. White Sox, Angels, Pirates, all very predictable, right?
Yes.
But do you know the one team that, and I think you do because we've talked about it before, but there is one team that is 29th in batting average. They are only 1 point better than the Rockies. And it is stunning to me that it's this team.
I believe you're talking about the Texas Rangers.
The Texas Rangers. They cannot hit, dude. They're so bad. And they have, I know Seager's been kind of hurt in and out of the lineup, but Marcus Semien all of a sudden can't hit.
Yep.
Adolis Garcia can't hit. You remember him in the postseason the one year going all...
Well, they were bad last year in the injuries. Like, the Rangers were a sneaky,
Yes,
a sneaky
good
team
pick this
that
year.
people were picking to maybe make a run back.
They are terrible.
No,
They're
they
hitting
suck.
219 as a team. They're 1 point better than the Rockies.
Yeah.
Why? How?
They're 3 games below 500.
It's unbelievable.
And they have scored... Well, we know that going in, everyone was making fun of the Mariners' offense, which has been pretty good. The Mariners have scored 250 runs. The Texas Rangers have scored 185.
I mean, the Rockies have scored.
So 185, and the Colorado Rockies, they've scored 177. So they're not much better.
Yeah, 8 more runs than the
8
Rockies.
more runs than the freaking Colorado
Isn't that
Rockies.
weird? It says something about their pitching, though, because Rockies have won 9 games or something.
Yeah, and the Rangers are 27 and 30.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, again, if you told anyone that follows the AL West that the Mariners have given up 238 and the Rangers have given up 197, you would say the Rangers are in front of that division by 9 games. And it's been the exact opposite. I think even DeGrom's had some big starts for them.
Yeah, he's been pitching well.
Yeah.
They said he did the thing that we talked about. Were you here? I don't remember if you were here or not. We talked about how the Giants are the franchise that's revolutionizing pitching because they are basically trying to train their younger pitchers in the minor leagues to go deeper into games.
Yeah, right.
Pitching, because guys now all they want to do is throw 100 and they're full go every pitch. Yeah. The Giants are taking the opposite approach and they're trying to get their guys to pitch more, but also pitch smarter and lay off the velocity some and really ramp. In their starts, Are
the Rangers doing that same thing?
DeGrom is.
Oh, DeGrom.
I read an article about DeGrom, and one of the ways he's staying healthy and one of the ways he's getting guys out now is he has learned to Greg Maddux that thing. And he's like, I cannot go full bore all the time. And he's learned how to get guys out. I think he's like 3 miles per hour less on his fastball, but he doesn't care.
I saw every now and then a meme will pop up where it's like DeGrom shaking because he wants to throw hard, and because he would regularly touch 100 miles an hour and he does not. Yeah, he throws in the high 90s now. But yeah, he's
doing well.
He started 11 games. He's 4-2, and he's got a 2.4 ERA.
Yeah, he's doing good.
But they got 2 cats that are 1.5 or below. Evaldi's been lights out for them.
So I'm kind of emptying out the notebook here a little bit, but we were talking about the college football group of 6. What do they call it? Group of 8.
I think it's going to be a group of 6.
Group of 20.
Because the Mountain West and the Pac-12 officially becomes one of them. So
yeah, but this year it will be called the Mountain West, right? And Oregon State and Washington State are playing that schedule, so they're technically the Pac-12, but they're just made up of 2.
Yeah,
but that's this year.
But it's becoming
it's becoming the Pac-12 beginning in 2026.
I believe that is correct.
But there was a SP Plus is Bill Connolly's metric. It's analytic college football, and without getting into the weeds, it's basically just one of the newer, better ways to evaluate a team. It's an honest evaluation of a team's strengths, weaknesses, assets, and so on. And he put together this formula and he's become very popular for it. It's called SP Plus. Okay. So it's not just some committee ranking teams. SP Plus is an analytic, and he's already put out his season rankings. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about the Mountain West or Pac-12 being the best of the group of however many, conferences. After Boise State, and again, I think there's like 126 programs.
Yeah, something like that.
After Boise State, who ranks 33rd in
Mhm.
SP Plus for
Yeah.
this upcoming season,
Yeah.
do you care to guess where the next team is?
It will be in the new.
This includes Oregon State, Washington State. It's San Jose State,
Yeah.
UNLV, Fresno State, Air Force, Colorado State, all those.
Oh my God,
Dude,
it's gonna be bad.
it's bad.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, 80, 85?
73rd,
73rd.
Oregon State.
Yeah.
So you have Boise State at 33rd.
Yeah.
And then listen to this. You have 73, 75, 82, 83, 89, 94, 97, 102, 105, 106, 108, 119, 123, 124, and yes, you have dead last 130.
Who's 130?
New Mexico.
Yeah. Well, does the Boise thing give you any hope?
Well, I mean, at least they have one good team.
No, I'm just saying, in general, the fact that Boise last year fielded a competitive, not just they put together a team that made the playoff, a team that went toe to toe with Oregon, who was the #1 team in the country. A team in the playoff, like it wasn't a great showing, but you didn't get embarrassed. If you're Oregon State or Washington State or any of those schools, does that give you any hope?
Yes.
That you can,
yes.
in this climate, you can still put
Yes.
a competitive product on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be. If I'm Oregon State, Washington State, I think with the right coach hire, you can dominate that league.
I'm not saying dominate the league. I'm saying, does it give you hope that you can put a competitive team
Yes.
against the Oregons and Penn States and Ohio States and anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think if you dominate that league, you're good enough to
Yeah.
compete against the big boy. It doesn't mean you're going to knock. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Boise State. Boise State should give you hope that
Yeah.
you can build
do
it
it.
in a small town, small stadium, bad league. You can do it.
Yeah.
You just have to.
And you lose 31-14 to Penn State, and I know that's that sucks, but you were there and you didn't.
That's right.
They
were good.
It wasn't an embarrassment.
They almost beat Oregon for heaven's
That's what I'm
sakes.
saying. They almost beat Oregon. And I wonder, as this goes on and the money keeps jumping and revenue sharing, that's what I'm wondering. Like, because Boise State has not been consistent over the last handful of years, right? Boise State felt like maybe there was a dip, and they've been some coaching changes, and it was like, and then they had a bounce back year. So I wonder, as we get further into this new world of college football, does some of that, is it getting harder and harder for a Boise State or anyone else to keep producing those seasons? Or if you do it right and you hire the right people, there's still that niche for you? That's all. I don't know the answer to it. I'll just be interested to see over the years to come if any of those schools can be competitive when they play the big boys, or can any of them get an upset when they get into the college football playoff? Or are we going to look down 5 years from now and be like, oh my God, every time they play in the playoff, they lose by 17.
Yeah.
I don't know. And by the way, if they keep losing by 17 every year, wait until someone's like, all right, well, here, someone will be like, yeah, we don't need you in here. You do need, I think, every now and then, you need Boise or Oregon State or Washington State or UNLV. You need someone once in a while to win that game or have the nail biter. I don't think it's going to be good for you if every time you play it's 31-14.
Well, and you got to win those rivalry games.
You do.
Too.
You got to find a way to win. And hey, Washington State beat Washington last year. So.
All right, here's the update you didn't know you needed. I'll just make this fast.
Yeah.
I was looking at a list of NBA players who are working 9-to-5 jobs since retiring.
Oh, really? Are they really, or is
no,
it?
it's some are. This one is. This is why I wanted to bring it up. But it's like got Greg Oden on here. He's a sports advisor.
Yeah.
Adrian Dantley is a crossing guard.
Yeah, but he made plenty of money. He does that. I've seen him. He just does it for S's and giggles.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just likes it.
Brandon Roy, high school basketball coach, or at least he was. Bryant Reeves is a cattle farmer.
Yeah.
Did you know that Vin Baker? You remember Vin Baker?
I do remember Vin. He played a long time, made a lot of money.
Yes, he did. He blew all his money. He had a drug problem. He is a manager at a Starbucks.
Really?
Yes.
And he blew through it, huh?
Yeah. He wrote a book.
So he lives off of probably his NBA pension and his Starbucks salary?
Yeah. He said Starbucks saved his life.
Oh,
And he is a manager at there are photos of him with the little Starbucks garb on.
really?
Yeah.
Will you imagine where is he in Boston still?
He is in Phoenix, I think.
Can you imagine walking into a Starbucks in Phoenix and Vin?
There's Vin.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Yeah. Boy. And look,
dude,
he's got a good perspective.
He's got a great. Well, he was an addict.
Yeah.
He's got a great perspective. And do you know how much money he blew through?
Oh, he made a bunch of money.
$100 million.
Oh, I was gonna say like 40 or 50.
Hey man,
My
hookers
God.
and blow cost a lot of dough. Well, and it's not 100 million. Remember, like, so 100 million. It's not. It was more like 55 or 60 million.
Yeah.
So and what is was it Patrick Ewing? We make a lot of money. We spend a lot of money.
No, that was.
I think.
No, that was
Was that Latrell Sprewell?
Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah. It's like that lifestyle.
Or maybe it was Ewing.
I thought it was Ewing during the lockout, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Someone said it. And, before you know it, and you throw a drug problem in there and you're taking care of a bunch of family
He
members.
was addicted to pills,
You're like, whoops.
Bacardi, Hennessy, and Cavassier.
Boy, that is a lot of booze.
Yeah, and he said it stripped him of everything. So
That is that is a rough go.
It was Patrick Ewing. We make a lot of money, but
Yeah.
we spend a lot of money.
Well, and I'm glad that he has a perspective because I can imagine. I forget what actor it was. It might have been I think it was one of the Different Strokes actors that died, as I think they all did, of drug overdoses. I forget which one it was, but I saw a documentary once on child stars, and I wish I could remember which one said it, but they said something to the effect of, "I've never been able to. My pride will not let me get over the fact that at one point I was on top of the world, and it wasn't that I'm working a 9-to-5 job. It's that I can't just work a 9-to-5 job. Everyone that sees me comes in and it's like, my God, what are you doing here? And every day I'm reminded of what a loser I was, or the hard times, or what my parents did to me. And it was like, they just pointed out it was a million daggers hitting you every time. And they wish they could just be anonymous. And that every time you think that you're done being noticed, someone comes in and notices you. And I do think that's a hard thing. There was
Instead of just being the person working at Starbucks, you
Yeah.
had a former celebrity working
yes,
at Starbucks.
it's one thing to just be okay. You're falling on hard times. You got a good job at Starbucks. You're making 55 grand a year, and you're living your life. But when you're 6'10" and you're Vin Baker, and
everyone's snapping a photo, and everyone's putting
what
on
the hell
Instagram.
are you doing here? And then you're reminded of your pill problem. You're reminded of the money you. There's a really good scene in the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, where he's like a Hulk Hogan figure that's fallen on hard times, and he's working at a Safeway deli.
Yep.
And he's just trying to mind his own business, and he's happy, he's going about his day, and he's in a good mood. And someone comes up and goes, "Wait a minute, are you?" And he won't stop bugging him. And he takes his hand and he shoves it into the meat slicer just so he can
Get out of the situation.
get out of the situation. It's like that's so good for Vin Baker for having some perspective.
Well, I didn't know this. I don't remember this, but back in 2003,
Yeah.
he was still playing. He got traded to the Celtics. He came out and said he was an alcoholic, and he said that on the road he was drinking Listerine, which is 54 proof. It's more than beer and wine. So
God bless America.
he satisfied his addiction that way. He would go to Vegas. He would lose millions in Vegas. I mean, it's just one thing after another.
I do remember now that you said that. I think at the end of his contract, he couldn't play because of it, and the Celtics couldn't recoup the money. Like, he was basically, I remember them having to pay him to not do anything. He just was, those contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah. So now he's
Good for him.
slinging lattes.
Well, but I'll bet you he's
Or
happier.
hiring baristas.
I bet you he's happier slinging lattes than he was for any of those final years when he was doing that.
So I just wanted to,
Yeah, that is
like I said, it's the update you didn't know you needed.
Yeah,
It's a feel good update.
That's
Well,
awesome.
I mean, is it
Well,
rough go? But
it's a rough go.
he's
but
doing better.
I'm glad that he's got a good perspective and he's on the right path.
All right, it's time for In the News.
I love a little ITN.
What is the most commonly misspelled word in Oregon?
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I have that
Willamette, maybe.
for you. That's next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on the Fan, the 49ers making a trade today. They're finalizing a deal with the Eagles, which will send edge rusher Bryce Huff to San Francisco. The Niners sending a middle second-round pick back to Philly in return. Some concerning news in the NBA as Pelican superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape as well as physical, emotional, and financial abuse in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County. There's a pair of Ducks games on the Diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opening the Eugene Regional, taking on 4-seed Utah Valley. First pitch from PK Park at 6. You can hear it on 910 ESPN Portland and see it on ESPNU as well as ESPN Plus. The Oregon softball team is facing elimination tonight when they face off against Ole Miss. That one will start at 6:30 on ESPN. And down in Corvallis, the Beavs opened their regional against 4-seed St. Mary's at 5 o'clock. That one's on ESPN Plus as well. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley, the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
I almost hit a guy with my hot new 2013 gold Subaru today.
Well, I'm telling you, I bet you that's a real mother bear trying to keep your foot off that pedal. I mean, that thing wants to go.
It doesn't handle quite like that Audi I used to have.
Yeah. Hands a little better, does it?
No.
Your Audi didn't have symmetrical all-wheel drive. Your Subaru does.
I got to tell you, the guys that ignore the crosswalk, like when they walk when it's green,
Yeah.
that really pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
When they
Doesn't that piss you off?
when they have not a good time to cross.
I'm sorry. Did I inconvenience you by following the traffic laws of the streets?
Yeah. So this guy was walking when he shouldn't have been walking. And I tell you, Gold Subi almost took him out.
Well, I think what happened is he saw the gold Subaru, and you know what he saw? Dollar signs. He said, "Hit me, bitch.
Yeah.
Let's do this."
Well, I didn't.
Because he knew that if you hit someone in a 2013 Subaru, you know who's getting the call the very next day? Yeah, Donegan.
The Advocates.
And now the Advocates are up your keister.
I almost felt the wrath of Ken and Donnie.
You don't want to do that
today.
Now, when you're driving a high-performance vehicle like a 2013 Subaru, you have to be real careful. Yeah, the moment you hit someone, Rick Riz style, now you got to face the Advocates. And if you have been hit by a 2013 Subaru, there's only one call to make, and that is to the Advocates.
Ken and Donnie.
Yeah.
Yep. They're great. They don't get paid until you win. So, guys, if you've been injured in an accident or otherwise, you're going to need more than a lawyer. You need somebody to fight those insurance companies for you. You deserve an advocate. Go see our friends, Ken and Donnie, their website, advocateslaw.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
fan.
I love that. I love that Sacred Heart clip.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Okay, we apologize.
Okay. A lot of people saying.
I just love it.
A
I love
lot
that.
of
in
people
general.
saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
I use that one a lot at the house. Right. I tell the BTJ that, a lot.
A lot of people saying.
A lot of people. Like I'll come home and like dinner will be a little bit late and I'm like, word on the street is a lot of people saying you're slipping. Usually ends up with me getting punched, but I'm a big fan. A lot of people. Hey, I'm just telling you what I heard.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
The delivery is so good.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's delivered in a way. It's like, well, I don't know, I don't really know, but I tell you what,
And it's like a prankster fan looming over a field mic, so it's especially impressive.
Your whole school has diarrhea.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Okay, we apologize.
So good.
May 30, 2025, time for In the News. I'm your newsman. Hello, thank you. Brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today is National Mint Julep Day. Have you had a little mint julep?
Well, I couldn't tell you the last time I had one. They're
I love
delightful.
a mint julep.
They are very good.
The key is you got to take the mint and you crush it.
Yeah. You have to slap it.
To muddle it.
Yeah. You get it, release the menthol.
It is also National Creativity Day.
Oh, there you go. Go be creative.
Who needs that?
Imagination.
So I have some spelling for you.
Okay.
I know you're not keen on the grammar.
No. Today was the 100th annual Scripps Spelling Bee.
Yeah. You were going to tell us what was the
We can maybe get into that in the club.
Oh, okay.
If you want to try to spell the winning word.
Yeah, we'll try later. I'm sure we'll be able to spell it. But in honor...
Some of those words, dude, those things are the most horrifying things in the world.
In honor of the Scripps National Spelling Bee, WorldUnscrambler.pro, which is an online resource for wordsmiths and Scrabble enthusiasts, put together the list of America's most misspelled words, and they did Google searches, because you always do like the how to spell.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I don't even do how. I just start typing and get close enough, and then I'm like, oh, that's what it is.
The word, yeah. So I always say, how do you spell something?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they were looking. They were looking at Google searches by state for that phrase, like how do you spell X, Y, or Z?
And I cannot spell something without writing it down.
Okay.
Like because I'm assuming you're going to give me a word here. Me trying to spell something in my head, it's not going to happen. But if I write it down on paper, I don't know why, but like I can picture it better.
Well, none of these are all that hard, but they're just the tricky words,
Oh yeah, dude, I get
the tricky ones.
Like I want to say like necessary will get me.
Yeah.
Business gets me sometimes where I'm like typing in the phone. I'm like, wait, I misspelled that, and then you're like looking down.
So the most misspelled word in Oregon is?
I'm going to say like Willamette or something like, I don't know, like what else do we have that's weird here? Cooch? Couch?
Business.
Business, yeah.
Most misspelled word in Oregon.
Yeah.
Business.
Business, that's what I said. That was one of mine. Like business would get me.
The most misspelled word in Washington.
Restaurant.
See, restaurant's a tricky one for a lot of people.
I'll butcher that.
Appreciation.
Oh, yeah. We're not even going to make that. We're not going to make that attempt. Neighbor will get me a time or two.
So here are the most misspelled words in Merca. Number 10, restaurant. Number 9, favorite.
Okay.
Number 8, business.
Yeah.
Number 7, neighbor.
Yeah, see? So basically all the words that I can't spell, everyone else, that makes me feel somewhat better about my illiterate nature.
Number 6, gorgeous.
Huh. Okay. I don't ever...
I think the E throws people off in that one.
So it's like what? Gorge?
E.
Is it, yeah, E and then O-U-S?
Yes.
All right.
Number 5, through.
Through. That T-H-R-O-U-G-H?
That's correct. Number 4 is believe. Number 3 is necessary. Number 2, separate. And the most misspelled word in Merca.
I'll tell you right now, if you asked me to spell necessary to save your life, I would apologize to your wife.
Definitely.
Definitely not spelling definitely.
Definitely is a tricky one. But it's DEFINITELY.
I'm not getting that.
Very difficult.
That's not happening. You ever have it where not even spell check knows? Like the one that depresses me when spell check doesn't even know what I'm trying to spell.
That means you have so badly butchered it that it doesn't even recognize it as close.
Yep. That's the one where it offends me. Because I'll be trying to spell something. I'm like, I know this isn't right, but I'll just get it close enough. And then spell check just looks at me with shame and disgust. And they're like, yeah.
We don't even know what you're...
Or it gives me like 3 other words that are in no way what I'm going for. I'm like, I'm so wrong that you've now just moved on to other words. I'm not going to lie. That one hurts me a little bit.
You're hurting yourself.
I know, but I'm a bit embarrassed when that happens. Like, And I don't know if anyone else has done this, but the ultimate shame is, so I'll try to respell it to get it close enough to get it. And if that happens again where it still doesn't know what I'm trying to spell, I will just change the word. I will use a different word that is easier to spell. I'll just give up on necessary. I'm like, you don't know that I'm trying to get necessary? Cool. We're moving on to something else.
No one will know.
No.
Yeah, let's go with required.
Yeah. Or I will also do this one sometimes. I'll just do the voice text. I'll be like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and throw
I love that voice text.
Yeah, and then it just spells it out. You're like, oh.
Voice text is great.
Yeah.
Where has that been all our lives? You know?
Dude, sometimes, though, when you got to be careful because you'll voice text. You better proofread that. Because sometimes you look down, you're like, that's not what I was trying to say.
All right, what do you have to plan ahead for this weekend? We'll tell you next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories, brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
You know, the reality is if you go back to last year's playoffs, you know, he's lost 6 to 7 games to Edmonton, and we gave up 2 shots on 2 goals in a
Fan.
Well, one listener reminds us of something from history that we should play here, and I'm going to play it for you because it's Friday.
Oh, yes, I know what this is.
Yeah, so you can turn on your mic. There you go. Did you say something over there?
Yeah,
nobody could hear
I think
you.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. Well, they said since we're talking about spelling, I'm surprised you haven't played the Souk Spelling Rop's name drop. And here it is.
I'm going to do this one first.
Okay.
You know how to spell my name?
What?
Spell my name.
R-O-P-P.
My first name.
Yeah, Isaac.
Spell it.
Why?
He doesn't know how to spell my name.
It's I-S-S. No, you
That's
use the
incorrect.
other. Wait.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know. I do this every time.
God, you're a piece of All right.
Read the Bible next time, Sue. Come on.
No,
it's
it's not-
Isaac. Oh.
It's not two S's. It's two A's.
Yeah, that's
So-
right. It's not what it says here, but yeah, that's right.
What?
It's Isaac.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I-S-A-A-C.
Yeah.
Okay. I always do that. I always do two S's,
Oh,
but it's not.
That's
It's
cool.
two A's.
Yeah, that's not.
Spell my last name, f***er.
S-C-U-K-A-N-E-C.
Damn it.
It's not fucking hard.
Well, either way. I got it. It just took me a second.
No, you did
I
not.
always put two S's
You don't know
there.
how to spell my name. Look at that.
I-S-A-A-C.
Damn it, you.
That was from that was real audio.
That
from-
was real audio.
We were taping something in the back with Mike Lynch. That was probably 2020,
That was
2019,
That was a long time ago.
and we
Not that
spelled
long ago.
program. We've been together like
P-R-O-G-U-M.
15 years, and you know how to spell my name.
I-S-A-A-C.
Well, thanks.
Bite me.
Yeah, you finally got it. 20 years later.
The last name that you got, God, that pissed me off.
Oh, I
was
nailed it,
oh,
too.
you did nail it.
The Oregon Department of Transportation is preparing to close all southbound lanes of Highway 217 for the entire weekend.
Yeah, but that's going to be fun for people
Yeah, you
out there.
guys need to know this. This is news you can use
Don't
because
go anywhere near that place.
well, 217 is already a mess.
Yep.
And now they're saying all southbound lanes closed. Starts 9 p.m. tonight, runs until Monday morning at 5. You have to exit on Canyon Road, and it goes all the way to 99 Dub.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of traffic.
God.
We have a lot of traffic sits in this area. I mean, the I-5 choke point and all that. But is there any? I mean, more people. I mentioned the people that we went to the Book of Mormon with. They're relocating out to. They're thinking Beaverton or Hillsboro. Like everyone's moving out there. Is there any way to make that better, or is it just going to keep getting
They
worse?
need to. The other question I have is, do they think doing this on a holiday weekend is advantageous because more people are gone? Or is it random and this is where it fell? Because that seems like a horrible idea.
What's the holiday?
Yeah. What?
What are you
I'm thinking
talking-
of last weekend. Never mind.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend. I would imagine more people are out on Memorial Day weekend, right?
I would assume. Right, people. I mean, traffic sucks coming back.
This
'cause
is a Wayne Gretzky in a Stanley Cup situation.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I mean,
You're doing great.
everyone is moving out that direction, but the traffic out there, I mean, it is horrific.
I've always contended there's more people out there than there are in Portland.
Yeah,
It's just
sure feels like it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but what do you do to alleviate that? You're not.
Well, they're trying to fix up 217, but
Yeah. But what are
Taking
they?
forever.
They're not really doing. I mean, what are they doing?
I think they're widening, aren't they?
Are they?
In
I
some
do
areas?
think they're adding lanes.
Yeah.
Thank heavens. I mean, there's a lot of times I don't go out there specifically for that reason.
Wait for the I-5 bridge, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Buckle up.
It's gonna be rough.
How are they going to do that? How are you going to do that?
Well, you have to link. I mean, because they're building it. What would that be? They're building it west of the I-5 bridge, and then you're gonna have to build new freeways off of I-5 that are going to link into that. And then I don't know if are they keeping the I-5 bridge, or is that eventually going to be torn? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I would imagine it eventually gets torn down, but you have to, keep it for now because
now,
people have
yeah.
to use it.
Yeah.
But
eventually you're going to have to reroute I-5. I mean, that project is going to be that is going to be a monstrous thing that I can't even comprehend. And they say, at least right now, it will be the most expensive municipal project in our country's history.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think it's up to like $8 billion. Which you know is going to be, they'll overrun on that thing. And I know inflation and all that, but
why does it cost so much?
I
It's just a bridge.
I don't think it does. My feeling on government work. I feel like every time someone gets a government contract, they do the one for you, one for me, and we'll just put this over here. And
Very successful, very rich.
you telling me whoever gets that contract isn't the amount of profit that they're putting in their pocket?
I'm gonna try to get cut in on that deal.
Yeah, have fun with that. They're now saying, because at one point it was a couple years ago, remember, it was like 2-point-something billion. And they are now saying the project is going to be between 5 and 7.5 billion. This is the other part that pisses me.
Should have built it back then.
$2.5 billion? That's the wiggle room? And let's play the fun game of, does it come closer to 5 or does it come closer to 7.5?
He do pay us the money.
Hey, Juan Soto got a hit. Always higher, so I'll go 7.5.
I'll bet you that thing ends up being 8 by the time it's done. But I just love that hey, can you ballpark that for me? Somewhere between 5 and 7.5.
Give or take $1 billion.
That'd be $2.5 billion.
That's your news, guys. For May 30, 2025, Combig Op Daxt. See where we're at here.
That's an RBI for Juan Soto, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, RBI double.
It's not just a hit.
I saw that too. Damn it.
He's laboring a little bit, but
About time.
he got there.
How much will it cost to watch every NFL game next season? We also have Joey Harrington coming on our program next hour, 5:30. He's back. So all that coming up on The Fan.
What? Swag here, and the spring weather has me needing to get
Concerning news from the NBA, as Pelican superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape as well as physical, emotional, and financial abuse in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County. A pair of Ducks games on the Diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opens the Eugene Regional, taking on 4-seed Utah Valley. First pitch from PK Park is at 6. You can hear it over on 910 ESPN Portland and see it on ESPNU as well as ESPN+. Oregon softball is coming off a walk-off loss to UCLA Thursday night. They'll try to fight off elimination at the College World Series in Oklahoma City tonight, taking on Ole Miss. That one starts at 6:30 on ESPN. Meanwhile, down in Corvallis, the Beavs just about to open their regional against 4-seed St. Mary's. First pitch from Goff Stadium any moment over on ESPN+. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com.
Good afternoon. At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be...
It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
One step closer to my own personal hell.
This is Primetime on Sports Radio 1080 The Fan.
We expect the best. We're not afraid to break someone. Do you hear me?
Primetime is your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Go ahead and clap. Mediocrity deserves applause.
Isaac Robb.
I'm miserable. I had to get up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Jason Sakanik.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
All right. Welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Friday. Sports Bros here. Rob, that's me. Big Sook right over there. Look at him. Look at him.
Only you.
Look at him.
Only you.
I don't think I could eat beaver.
We also have Ryan Buckley here.
Who's in charge of your penis?
He's sweating out some college baseball bets, I'm guessing.
No, we're not sweating anything
He looks
yet.
nervous right now.
No.
The Beavers just about underway in their first game in the tournament.
Someone was talking. We were talking about traffic out there in that general direction out there, 217. That new the Jollibee, the chicken chain opened up there, and I guess people are saying that it's just
Jollibee.
Jollibee. It's a Filipino chicken place, and apparently it's causing massive problems out Cornell and 85th, like Tanasbourne.
185th.
Or 185th. Yeah, I guess it's just it's wall to wall as people are trying to get Filipino chicken. And I love when a fast food place opens up and then it just grinds traffic to a halt. I guess people were camping out for like a day and a half. They were offering, I think it was like to the first handful of people, you got free chicken for a year.
Oh, okay. Well, if there's something like that, I understand it slightly more, but the whole, it just got there. I need to wait in line for hours to get it. Why? It's going to be there.
I don't know. But every time one of these new chains, whether it's like an In-N-Out or like a Shake Shack, and now this is the first Jollibee, apparently are so and it's good. They have it up in Canada. I've been to it a bunch of times. It's a delightful chicken, but it is chicken, as you like to say.
It blows me away how crazy people go over an effing chicken sandwich. They cost like $8.
These are more like chicken nuggies.
God.
They have spaghetti as well.
You know what's across the street from that place? Victor Rico's.
Yeah.
Did you know that? There's a Victor Rico's right over there.
Well, if you're trying to get to Victor Rico's right now, good luck, because you got to fight through the chicken. You got to fight through the Filipino chicken.
Or if Burger King suits you, there's a Burger King right there.
Now, if you're a Burger King, are you just pissed? Because now, imagine you're just trying to go get yourself a Whopper, right? You're like, hey, I'm feeling a Whopper. I don't know whoever wants a Whopper, but, is Burger King still a thing?
Yeah.
Who goes to Burger King?
Meatball and Goodwood.
Does he like it?
T-Pain and Goodwood.
Does he like it his way?
We had our caravan from Kansas to Oregon recently.
Yeah.
And we were at a hotel one night. I think this was the night we were in Boise.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Burger King across the street, and they shamefully walked over there.
They had no choice.
And that's exactly what they said. They were like, look, because I didn't want to eat. I was just drinking.
Yeah.
I didn't want it.
You drink the calories.
Yeah, and they both looked at each other. They were like, we have no choice, do we?
Chicken fries, let's go.
And they went over there and had shameful amounts of Burger King.
But you're trying to get yourself a Whopper, and you're driving by, and all of a sudden you just see 1,000 people crammed in that area. You're like, I'm out of here. I bet.
Well, there are other places to get a Whopper.
I'm just saying. I'm guessing that for the Burger King people or whatever, I'm guessing that's a bummer now that the Jollibee's in town. You're siphoning away customers, and no one wants to go to that area. And someone said, I live right over there. I'm avoiding that area like crazy.
But he also said it's not that great. Exactly.
I just looked up their Jolly Spaghetti, and that. No thanks.
Well, it's
spaghetti.
Yeah, so
fried chicken and spaghetti.
What?
Well, it's Filipino spaghetti, so it's like.
But it looks like they just took like fresh boiled noodles and poured some like ragu on there, along with some sliced or some grated cheddar cheese.
Can I get this
cheddar cheese?
Can we get this cheddar?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Look up the Jolly Spaghetti.
We need to get this straight. You're talking about freaking fast food spaghetti with
that's right.
cheddar cheese on it, and people are lined up outside for this crap?
Mostly for the chicken, but they
My
also have the Jolly
God.
Spaghetti.
It is known for the chicken, but yes, they do. It's a sweeter. It's not your normal
It's like
spaghetti.
ketchup.
It's a sweet. Yeah, I don't
Dude. Get out of here with Jollibee.
You've never even had it.
No, I haven't. It's just I know exactly what and it might be good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it blows me away how people go absolutely crazy and out of their way to stand in line and wait for something as mid as that.
Yeah.
There is no way it is that good. It is impossible. It's science.
I will say they make a strong bird, but yes, would I ever wait in line?
Well, again, a lot of people make a strong bird,
Yes.
and even the strongest of birds is pretty mid. It's chicken.
It is chicken.
God.
Well, apparently there were people literally camped out for over 24 hours to try to be one of the first 50 people.
Loser. Every one of those persons is a loser.
It does seem a bit.
You're a loser,
it
and
seems a
I
bit
don't
much.
care who you are, and you may be yelling at your radio right now. You're a loser.
What if it meant free chicken?
For how long?
I think they said it was chicken for a year, and I don't know how much chicken that is.
I get it. I get that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, but
No.
I get why someone would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a loser if it's free chicken for a year.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
Imagine, though, that if you were in line for like 12 hours and you found out you were the 51st customer and you didn't get free chicken for a year.
You're a loser.
But if you get free chicken for a year from a place like Jolly Wops or whatever,
Jollibee,
are you really like how much chicken are you really going to use?
and that's my question: is how much?
And when do you get sick of it to the point where it's like I don't even care that it's free? I'm not eating that.
Yeah, I don't know. And what is the definition of? I'm guessing there's a limit. You don't get to go back and get chicken every day. I'm assuming it's chicken once a week for 52 weeks.
Oh, well, then that
Maybe it's chicken once a day.
It's not.
What if it's
there's
once a
no
day?
way. That's not the way that works. When you get the rice-a-roni, remember when they used to give out a year's supply of rice-a-roni? It was usually just like 52 boxes of rice-a-roni. So I'm guessing you get like a $25 Jollibee gift card. You know, you get 52 of them, and you can go get chicken and spaghetti once a week.
All right. Well,
sounds delightful.
It sounds disgusting.
Yeah. I've only had it up in Vancouver.
I mean, when's the last time you had spaghetti?
Well,
don't tell me you went to like old spaghetti factory
no,
in
in
Italy.
fact, no, but we did have. You know what? All my time, I don't know if I had.
Did they have Chili's?
They don't really have spaghetti over
No, I did not have a.
It's not a thing.
Well, they have spaghetti bolognese, but I don't think we ever had it. I had a lot of lasagna. You know, the last time I had spaghetti, and this is hand to God, the BTJ made me wait in line for Mom's Spaghetti in Detroit like 2 years ago.
What's that?
It's M&M's spaghetti place.
Based off of the rap lyric.
Yes.
From
vomit on my sweater, Mom's Spaghetti, and it's a window. It's not even a restaurant. If you go to Detroit, like the downtown area, the hockey arena and the basketball arena, one, and then it's like the baseball stadium and the football stadium are all right there. It's a little triangle, and then there's a casino. So it's kind of a cool little entertainment district. And there's like a restaurant, and inside that restaurant, there's a window. And it's Mom's Spaghetti. It's M&M's spaghetti place. And so my gal BTJ loves M&M. And we had to wait in line. And the line was so big, and it was freezing ass cold. They had to bend the line into an alley because it was blocking off one of the theaters that were there. And we waited in line for probably 45 minutes. And I was just like, shut up, don't ruin this. She really wants to go. And it was the worst spaghetti I've ever had in my entire life. And that is their like bit is it's they admit it's bad spaghetti. I think their
Do you
slogan
think
is
his mom made it?
their spaghetti is it's something like just like mom used to open, because it's meant to be like
Out of a can, like
out
a
of a
spaghetti
can.
style or
Well,
something?
he grew up poor,
Right.
and
Trailer
so
park.
it's like ragu spaghetti, and it comes in a little Chinese box, and then you get like a piece of bread with it, and then like the meatballs are they're like Chef Boyardee meatballs, and people wait in line forever simply because it's M&Ms. And I guess once in a while, like he'll work the window like once a year. And then people like the BTJ go to Detroit and are like, oh my God, we have to go to M&M spaghetti place.
And I bet he's printing money on it.
Oh, the line, every day we were there and we walked by it, line around the corner.
Spaghetti.
I think that's the last time that I actually
I
had
feel like
spaghetti.
Spaghetti's kid food.
Well, it's just, why? Why would you have, there's no, because if you go to a place that has spaghetti, there's much better options.
Yeah, even the old spaghetti factory.
You don't get spaghetti.
You don't get spaghetti.
We just went to Old Spaghetti Factory for Mother's Day with
What'd you have?
with the in-laws. Nobody got spaghetti.
No.
Chicky parm maybe?
Yeah, they have a chicky parm there.
I think I had like the, I don't know, I had
I'll tell
like
you
the
what.
marsala, something like that.
Listen, I'm a food snob. That's pretty obvious. But Old Spaghetti Factory, it's not bad.
I had never
It's
been
really
and it was
not.
solid.
It is not a bad place.
My buddy claims, and I agree with him, the most underrated bar in all of Portland is where we used to work. Right next to us was the Old Spaghetti Factory,
Yeah.
and the bar upstairs and that waterfront. That's the most underrated bar in Portland.
No,
that's a cool little bar.
It is a cool little bar.
Yeah.
I don't know about most underrated in Portland.
No one, you would never go to the Old Spaghetti Factory
Well,
to drink, and I'm telling you,
I know
that
the
bar
problem,
upstairs is cool.
It's
And
a
the
cool
view?
It's a cool setting, but the problem there is you get Timmy from McMinnville High School bartending. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I
You know
don't,
what
I don't think he can work at the
you're
high
right.
school.
But you know what I mean. You're not getting
Maybe from Mount Hood Community College.
You're not getting the finest of
No.
of
No. But it's shockingly nice up there.
of barmen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we blew a segment.
Yeah, we
What will it cost if you want to watch every NFL game next season? I have that number for you. And then we'll talk to Joey Harrington here on The Fan.
Check out the Fan merch line. 1080 The Fan.
All right, we will talk to our friend Joey Harrington, who is back with us today in 10 minutes about Lord knows what.
Something.
Saw a graphic of what NFL fans will spend to watch all 18 games for their team next season.
Yeah.
Because, games are on...
They're all spread out.
Yeah, so you got Sunday Ticket, you've got Peacock, YouTube TV, Netflix, Prime, ESPN Plus, or NFL Network. And even, it even puts taxes and fees in here.
Sure.
You know what the number is?
I bet you it's a lot. But who's watching every single NFL game?
Well, no. It's like all 18 for their team.
Oh, for their team.
Just for your
Which
team. All
a
18
lot
of your team's games.
A lot of people are doing.
Yeah. Are some teams are more than others? Yeah, because they're on prime time.
Yeah, this I think is the most extreme example.
Okay.
There's probably some crappy teams that aren't. Well, no. Doesn't every team have to play primetime games?
Yeah, I think
Thursday or Monday.
No, in fact, I think there's two teams. I think
there's 3 this year that are not playing a primetime game. It's the Saints, the Titans, and the Browns.
Yeah, they don't have a primetime game. So for them, maybe just a nice local broadcast. I'm gonna say, it's gonna be a couple $100 easy.
A couple hundred?
Yeah, I'd say like $800-900 maybe.
The total is NFL fans will spend $1,515.40 to watch all 18 games next season. Now, you would need to pay $522 for Sunday Ticket.
Mm-hmm.
That seems high. Is that what Sunday Ticket is going for now?
I don't know. I haven't had Sunday Ticket in forever, but
I haven't either.
I used to do, and I don't think they do it anymore. They just tell you to leave. But when you had DirecTV, you could always call and threaten to change services, and they would just give you the Sunday Ticket for free. But now I think they're like, cool, bye.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't even care anymore?
I don't think they even care anymore. They're like, and now Sunday Ticket isn't on DirecTV anymore, so.
YouTube TV, $563.88. So that depends on your package level. But, I think I pay maybe $80 a month for YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Peacock, $13.99.
So with the NFL Sunday Ticket, that's separate from you because it's on YouTube TV now. But is it like?
No, it's separate.
It's separate. So it's like DirecTV, where if you had DirecTV, you still had to pay a couple $100 for the Sunday Ticket.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly the same. Netflix, $22.99. Amazon Prime, $90. ESPN Plus, $105. And taxes and fees, $197.66, which gets you to a total of $1,515.40. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's crazy. The olds are here, as you know.
Absolutely.
Ma and Pa Rob. And Ma, she's big on her news. Mm-hmm. She likes to watch the news.
Of course she does.
And
does she get mad at the news?
I don't think so.
I like when olds watch the news and then they get livid and then they have to rant about the news for an hour or two afterwards.
She's big into the news. She's got to watch her news daily. And she's really having a hard time figuring out that it's 2 hours earlier here. So that throws her off. But she said to me that she goes, I just absolutely hate this streaming stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you watch one channel. What is the difference? And I thought about it, and I just was like, man, that's a prime example. And, look, I get it. She's old. Yeah. She's in her 80s, and it's the comfort of having the guide and just what she knows with the remote and everything.
Yeah.
But there's no difference between a guide on cable and a guide on YouTube TV. It's the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, the interface on YouTube TV is actually better.
Do not ask someone of her advanced years to learn a new skill.
I know.
Stop it.
And she's had to, and she's doing great at it. Sort of.
Yeah.
But it's she was lamenting streaming, and I'm just like, is it streaming or is it just
Again, it's a comfort. I will say that you got to admit it was a much better time when everything was under one umbrella and you didn't have to switch from app to app to find whatever it is you're
don't mind it because I really didn't watch a ton of TV. I didn't scroll.
Oh.
I just never.
I did a lot of scrolling, and as a parent, I find it infuriating to have to remember which kid's show is on which streaming app. It's terrible.
I contend it sucks.
What's the best streaming app for kids?
Netflix has a lot of good content.
Disney Plus.
I thought maybe Disney Plus.
Disney Plus has all the movies, so that's big time. But but shows, probably Netflix, maybe Paramount.
Tell you what, you know who's struggling right now,
in
my opinion? HBO Max.
Really?
I don't find a lot of good stuff on there right now.
Really?
And that used to be my favorite one.
Well, I love HBO.
See, I do too, but I'm just saying, like, Max.
Right now, they don't
right
have
now,
something. Well, The Rehearsal was pretty damn good, but that's another thing.
The Last of Us.
Apple TV's doing some good stuff right
The
now.
Last of Us is big. The Apple TV in my power rankings has really, I'd say the last year and a half, Apple TV.
It's doing good.
I used to dismiss Apple TV.
Their hit rate is really good now. It seems like most of the original stuff they turn out is pretty solid.
Yes.
Yeah. Friends and Neighbors, I absolutely love. Severance, I liked it. There was certainly a buzz. I thought Shrinking was the best show on TV.
The Studio was good.
The Studio is amazing. The Studio is the closest thing I've come to having my Curb Your Enthusiasm. It is a more serious Curb Your Enthusiasm. That level of cringe is incredible. Love it. Yeah, Apple TV, hats off. Hats off to it. I'd say the one that I watch that I'm not watching as much is Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I find myself away from Netflix more than I used to. And then Prime is whatever. I just have the only reason I have Amazon Prime is because I have Amazon Prime.
Prime and Hulu have fallen behind.
And I don't have Hulu. I don't have any. That's gone. And Amazon would be, except it comes. If they said I have to pay $3 extra with my Amazon Prime a month, I'd be like, get out of here. I don't need that crap.
Well, anyway, it's going to cost you a lot to watch your NFL teams next year. Sorry about that.
Yeah. As someone said, I'll pay $0 with my jailbroken Fire Stick. There are ways around this, as we've talked about.
Plenty.
I'm surprised more people haven't. Is it just the nature of they think it's illegal? Because it really isn't.
I think it's just people don't know how to go about it.
I'm telling you. Once you do,
it's not that hard.
You won't go back.
No. It's just
it's the best.
Yeah, it's just well, I do think some people just don't want to.
Yeah.
They just are by the book.
Yeah. I have people ask me about mine, and you would think that you're doing like a massive Coke deal. They're like, is it?
Where do you get that? Do I need to wear a mask?
And then I'll show them. I'm like, dude, you find it. Again, you just Google it. They're everywhere. And I'm like, well, what happens if they, if they come for you? I'm like, that doesn't happen. Like, and they're like, is everything? And I'm like, yeah, all the movies, all the pay-per-view, every sport, every game. And like, even the ones that get excited about it still ultimately don't pull the trigger on it. They think it's I really do think it's, to them, the cost, it's too good to be true. They don't believe that for like $250, you never have to pay for something again. They can't process it.
All right. We have to go because Joey Harrington is standing by.
The triumphant return.
You may remember him. He is our friend.
What?
Of Oregon Duck fame. He was a quarterback at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just handsome and retired.
He is. That hair. It's on point.
What?
Bothers me now when I see him with a shaved head in those old photos. What were you doing?
I saw him in an ad campaign recently.
Yeah.
He was. They're doing another Portland's Great ad campaign.
Sure.
And he was on there.
Yeah.
He's like quintessential.
I saw that too.
Mr. Portland.
Because like for a long time when he played, he always had that like buzz cut. Dude, that hair is so good. Why would you ever cut that? It offends me as a bald person.
Well, he hasn't cut it.
I know, but he used to run
Soup's offended that he used to wear it short because it's
he used to shave his head, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, that hair was available your whole life, and you chose to go with the buzz cut?
Let's talk to Jay Joseph coming up next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Brian Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan, and the NFL reports indicate the 49ers are finalizing a trade with the Eagles in which San Francisco will acquire edge rusher Bryce Huff. 49ers will send a second-round pick back to Philly in return. Some concerning news in the NBA as Pelican superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County. Meanwhile, a pair of Ducks games on the diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opens the Eugene Regional, taking on 4-seed Utah Valley. First pitch from PK Park at 6. You can hear it over on 910 ESPN Portland and see it on ESPNU or ESPN+. Meanwhile, Oregon softball is facing elimination tonight in the College World Series in Oklahoma City. They'll take on Ole Miss at 6:30 on ESPN. And down in Corvallis, they are already underway at the Corvallis Regional, but a rough start for the Beavs. Their starter knocked out of the game as they give up 3 runs in the first to 4-seed St. Mary's. They're currently down 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley, the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The original home of the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays 9 to noon. 1080 The Fan. It's time for Who's Leading the Charge. A look under the hood at the coaches, players, and teams getting it done. Brought to you by Battery Exchange.
I will give up Academy Award, Oscar, for the Knicks to win a championship. I got 2 already, but I will give up.
You're going to keep them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I was thinking that. Yeah.
I should have. You don't have to say anything.
Use your internal voice. Inner voice.
That's Spike Lee.
I'm sorry. That is such a good line by Chuck.
You're going to keep
You're
them.
going to keep them. Hey, the Knicks stayed alive.
They won.
Yeah, kicked the crap out of them.
Yeah, they're probably not winning a championship.
No, I don't think so.
Do you think they can win this?
No,
they
can't.
Get to the finals?
No, this was one of those. Indiana let their foot off the gas. That won't happen again.
Mention code BXT10 at checkout for 10% off your entire purchase at Battery Exchange, online at batteryexchange.com.
Brah, you down. You need an Onaloa mixed plate from 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Takeout, delivery, or
soccer, let's get out of town for the weekend. And then it was like, oh my God, we're trying to coordinate everything and everybody, and you just end up running yourself ragged. But yes, it was nice to, leave the town for a few minutes.
Where'd you go?
We were over to Black Duke.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, sometimes vacation can be more tiring than just leading your day-to-day life.
Especially when you're the leader, like Jay Joseph.
Yeah. Now, do you lead the vacation, or is that a Mrs. Harrington leads the vacation?
I think we take turns. I think based on not like your turn, my turn, but like where are we going? Who's kind of planning what type of trip? Is it just a quick trip? Is it, are we involving family or other friends? It just kind of falls into place. But we both take on those type of roles. Interestingly, though, I had you guys come up on. Well, I guess you guys come up in conversation a couple times in the last week, but over that vacation. So, and you may or may not want to hear this story on air, but you know what? I'm going straight for it.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
So I ran into, and so I'm not going to use names.
Okay. They've been changed to protect the innocent.
And yes, this is Michael J. We've only using his last initial to protect his anonymity. I had a mother tell me, jokingly, or maybe not, when you talk to Sook next, tell him to stop using the B word.
Ooh.
I was like, what are you talking about? He said, because Dad was driving home with kids in the car, and you called somebody or something a bitch.
Yeah.
And so
unbelievable.
And so the kindergartner comes in from the car, and they sit down at the dinner table, and he looks at his sister and goes, "Hey, you're a freaking bitch."
Oh my God.
Whoops.
And so he says, "Where did you hear that from?" And the dad is just like, "Oh my God." No sooner did they get into the car the next time, you hit the button to turn the radio on, and it was the first word that came out.
Sook, you're unbelievable. Why do you do this?
So, and here's the thing. Like, I am guilty of that, but the king of that word is sitting across from me, and that's the weirdest thing. Is
she said, "Tell Sook,
yes, and this is
not say the B word."
And look, I am owning up to my fair share of the B word, but what are the odds you turn into the station and you hear someone use the word bitch and it's not you? That's like Rob's favorite word. We have like so the fact that it was me and back to back, that's like when the pitcher hits a home run. That is not what's supposed to happen. No, Isaac Ropp is the power hitter.
There's some deflecting going on here, Joey. I'll try to have a talk with him.
I'm just laughing because I'm picturing this kindergartner walking into the house with a big old smug look on his face, sitting down at the table and looking at his older sister and saying, "You're a freaking bitch."
Look, you learn it somewhere.
You learn,
okay?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the internet now, and it's music, and
don't blame us.
Yeah,
blame the world.
Yeah, blame the world. Blame the world.
Yeah, it's bad out there. Wow. What was the other one?
Let's see. Oh yeah, I apparently we've got some potential roof damage. Was looking at it with the contractor the other day, and I think the gutters may have been installed incorrectly at some point. Water's backing up underneath and now dripping out from under the soffit, kind of thing. And we're looking at it. And I was like, "Oh boy, this isn't going to be fun, is it?" He's like, "No, we could come at it from this way, but probably the best way is to, start demoing under the soffit there and just look and see how far up it goes." I was like, "Oh God." And he paused for a second and he said, "You might want to have Isaac and Sook up your pay rate because this one might get expensive."
Oh, nice.
As someone that is currently looking at having to do a new roof, let me tell you, it's depressing. I got in the next, 6 months to a year, I got to redo my roof. And I don't know if you've been in the roof game, but I had an idea of what a roof cost. Wrong. It was like shopping for beef jerky. It's an alarming number.
Yeah, we did the roof a while ago, and not a while, so call it maybe 7 to 10 years ago. Yeah. And then we had the gutters that we redid that, and I think so then it's backing up underneath. So it's not the actual roof, which actually may be worse. I don't know, because now we may have some rot and all that fun stuff. So the third one is I met this wonderful one named Judy last night at an Oregon Club event down in Salem. I was emceeing for a little thing with Dan Lanning, and Judy apparently listens every Friday, and she will sit in her driveway and finish the segment because she's driving home from school. And I was like, that is really wonderful. So I'd tell Judy hello. She said that yesterday.
That's cool.
Well, shout out to Judy.
What's up, Judy?
Judy sounds like a great lady.
Now, don't call her the B word.
Now we're not going to say that B word. Nope.
Nope.
That's going to be just Judy, just a great lady.
How's our man Dan Lanning this time of year?
How is he?
Yeah. Tan, rested, stressed.
No, I would.
Is he ever rested?
I don't think he is.
Like, you couldn't pay me enough to be a. I mean, that's probably not true, but that's the impression. Because you see, like all the college coaches when they're in season, like that's the good stuff, right? That's sure they're burning the candle at both ends, but it's football. It's what you love. It's scheming somebody up. It's having a payoff on Saturday where you see how well you prepared. And this part of the year with recruiting and it's become not just recruiting of high school players, but now it's recruiting of your own players, and it's recruiting of players from other schools, and it's recruiting of donors, which is, last night there was a fundraising event. I mean, guys like Dan are literally just, they're on all time. And I asked him, I was like, when are you going to get a break? He says July. Like that's, and that's what the off season looks like for college coaches now. And that's not that anybody needs to feel sorry, for the guys. I mean, they chose the profession and know what they're getting into, but it has changed significantly in the last, transfer portal and NIL, where, their off seasons have significantly changed because what they're required to do to keep their program afloat has significantly changed.
Yeah. And I know, like, it's genuine, right? You like kids, like you're recruiting, but the idea of having to placate 18 and 17-year-old kids and
jump in pools with them.
I honestly, I don't care the money. I think I'm incapable of doing it. I think I'd be bad at it. I don't think I have a good enough poker face to hide my emotions.
Disdain.
Yeah, my disdain for that stuff. And you really do. Like when you're a coach like that, I mean, I'd say 70% of the battle is being able to read kids and connect with them. And it's I don't know. It's picking someone up. It's being able to convince someone that this is the environment you want to be in. And I think that's got to be tough when you're dealing with the whims and everything that goes on with today's athletes.
Sure. That is well, with today's athletes. I mean, there's one thing to recruit a high school kid. What's our pre-date? 10 years ago, when did NIL start? 5 years ago?
Yeah, NIL is just a handful of years. We've only been into it for a
so
few years.
let's call it pre-2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Your recruiting is just building a relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like trying to make a sale. You don't walk in the door and say, "Hey, you want to buy some widgets?" It's spending time getting to know the person, the family, and that's not so bad. Now, sure, I always said that I wouldn't want my family's well-being to be tied to the decisions of a 19, 20, 21-year-old male. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. But now we're to the point where, some of the coaches were telling me that they will go, it's now legal to go into other teams' facilities to recruit players that are transferring. So being in the way I was hearing from one of the coaches about being in Michigan, this was a couple of years ago, about being in Michigan State's in the Michigan State's weight room, recruiting a player who is going to be transferring. And then at the same time that you're in somebody else's facility, you have to recruit the player who already exists in your facility, you're trying to make sure they stay. And at the same time, you're trying to convince this, like you said, this 17-year-old kid that you need to jump in a pool with because he wants to make an Instagram reel about it. The transferring and the payment has added such a burden to these coaches where it's not just building a relationship and saying, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I want to take care of your kid for 4 or 5 years. Like, trust me that I'm going to do right by him." It has completely changed the game to where there's never a moment when you can sit down and feel like you're comfortable. Yeah. Because no matter where you are, you may have 3 of the best players in the country, right? You may feel great about your pick a running back room, your tight end room. But if number 2 and number 3 don't see the field enough, then they're not there tomorrow. I mean, it's I don't know. It's tough.
This is why Chip went to the NFL.
Yeah, I read an article today. I read an article today. I wish I remember who had it. It was one of the college football writers, Ross Dellinger or Andy Staples or something. It was one of those links, and I clicked on it, and they said that I guess back in the again, let's go pre-2020. To get a 5-star kid on campus, you had to slip a few bucks, right, to the kid under the table, and that was known. It was, a couple $1,000, and that kid would come to your school, and even if he wasn't that interested, it was still important to get 5 stars on your campus, and the idea that these kids are looking at your program. But they said now that obviously the NIL and all rules are off. They're saying that is a legitimate recruiting cost now, and not just 5-star kids, that you have to pay to get kids on the campus. And I guess coaches, according to this article, are saying that some of the numbers are getting astronomical just to get a kid to show up on your campus. And the fear is that number is going to keep going up. And it's like, NIL is already one thing, revenue sharing, but now even if you're interested in a kid, you gotta pay just for him to come and consider you. Like there's like, I think that the idea was that the coaches are fearful that this never ends.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Until there's some sort of governing body that has the guts to say this is these are the rules that we're all going to play by. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't stop.
Well, imagine now having to decide. You're like, hey, I think we're in on this 4 or 5-star kid, and we're in the top 3, but we really don't think we're probably the favorite for him. And we bring him on campus, we might be able to because that was the whole thing. Like with Oregon, they always say you don't want Oregon to get the last crack at him. Like you can make a big impression. But now, let's say if the kid's asking for 50 G's, just to show up, do you have to make a decision now? Is it worth it to spend the money to try to woo the kid, or hey, it's a long shot, so now you just got to pass? It's one more element to the 365 recruiting cycle that I guess some coaches, shocking, the coaches are being like, God, it's just one more thing we have to deal with.
Well, it's the natural evolution, because high school kids are now, they all have agents.
Yeah.
This is beyond, you used to not be allowed to have an agent until when you were done with your college eligibility, right? Yeah. Agent took over, negotiated there, because the agent's job is to negotiate everything that they possibly can in your best interest, right? Well, since these NIL deals are now so lucrative, the agents, and I was talking with the guy who represented me when I was playing, he is now signing high school kids. And that's what everybody has to do, is you have to pick a kid as a sophomore, junior in high school and start recruiting them, banking that they are going to potentially make the NFL someday, right? And so if you are signing a high school kid in the attempt to negotiate their contract with the university, well, if you're acting in their best interest, well, then you're going to handle their recruiting process as well, right? So if I've got if my agent, for instance, he negotiated with the Detroit Lions when I had my contract and I got drafted, but he also negotiated with EA Sports, and he also negotiated with Nike and with Levi's or whoever it is that, hey, what are some other revenue sources that I could get for my client? Well, there you go. That's the next revenue source, is not just getting paid to play, but getting paid to visit. It's not going to stop until there are some sort of enforceable rules that are put in place. This is going to continue to grow and continue to, they're just going to keep finding new ways to try and make these kids money.
This is our friend Joey Harrington, with us each Friday, courtesy of Mods PDX. When we come back, we will wrap up this discussion. I have a perhaps unanswerable Oregon sports question for you, but if anybody can answer it, it's you. And yeah, I was thinking about it today driving in. So and it pertains to this conversation. I'm going to toss that at Joey coming up next here on The Fan.
Time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics, brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Big night for Oregon baseball and softball. Softball faced elimination in the College World Series. Meanwhile, baseball opens their regional at PK Park. They're taking on Utah Valley. Oregon a -225 favorite to win that region. They're laying 4.5 runs tonight if you're into that kind of thing. Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
You could get an Oregon State, Oregon super regional. It would be awesome for the show if that happened. The worst part is that if Oregon State prevailed, we'd come in here, I'd say a joke, and you'd be like, oh, wins football. But if Oregon wins... Can't wait to win by 4. It's the best, literally the best position to be in.
He's a man of the people now.
Yeah. I mean, that must feel...
Hold on.
Yeah, you.
I thought it was 47. I'm
I think you're 46.
46. Oh my God, I don't turn 47 till this year. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's retired. 46 or 47.
Yeah, he's out of the rat race.
How great that must feel. I mean, imagine what Joey's life is. What is your life on a daily basis like? What is it like to be retired? And then we'll get back into our discussion.
It starts with
I think a French press.
A fan, a giant, a palm. I have my kids fan me with a palm frond, and then go downstairs and some hand-fed grapes.
Yeah.
Then, French press, but the beans have to... what does it look like? It looks like waking up and getting the kids ready for school, and then going to get a workout, and then coming back and doing some foundation work till, maybe call it 10 to 2-ish.
Okay.
Getting the kids from school, coming back, maybe helping with homework, doing some dinner stuff, soccer practice.
Where does the old-fashioned fit in? And golf? Am I missing something?
The old-fashioned fits in right in between breakfast and the workout and golf. You know what? It's so funny. I don't play a whole lot of golf.
Don't have
as
time.
much as I would like to. And here's why. Okay, why did I retire? Because I wanted to spend time with my kids. Right? I could have been out, back in Bristol, Connecticut, or calling games, or out, coaching somewhere. But if I'm going to be here, I want to be here. Right? I've only got 6 more years and 5 more years until they're out of the house, and then there'll be time for golf, and then there'll be time for breakfast old fashions, and But as of right now, it is very, it's kid centric.
Yeah, man, that's good. It's called balance.
There you go. Perspective.
Dan Lanning.
Perspective, if you will.
So here's my unanswerable Oregon question. Where do you think Oregon athletics would be without Phil Knight?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
It is a very good question.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
But it's really not a hard question.
In my face.
Now, I'm going to ask a clarifying question back.
Okay.
What does without Phil Knight mean?
He doesn't exist.
Yeah, he never existed.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What do you think it means?
I thought at the involvement, the level, without him contributing to the program, so if Phil Knight doesn't exist, then Nike doesn't exist. That's the route we're going.
Yeah,
that's essentially
because
Nike is removed from the equation.
I don't think
the
they're
connection is
they're not in bed with Nike without him.
No.
So
no.
Or let's say Phil Knight does exist, but Phil Knight ran track at Ohio State.
Yeah, it was in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So
like he was back east somewhere.
Yeah.
So Bill Bowerman and all that happened at a different university. Or he's a big Stanford guy, right? So he's down at Stanford. He's not tied to Oregon in any way. Didn't go here, didn't start Nike. Nike exists, all that, but it's a different university.
I think we are meddling in the bottom middle of the old Pac-10 and the Pac-12. I'm trying to, I'm slow with my answer because I'm trying to think of good examples. I mean, Phil's first real involvement was after the Cotton Bowl. And he's like, what do you need? After seeing the Rose Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, like, what do you need to get over the top? And that was a conversation that he had with Coach Bellotti. So, I mean, think about this. In '94, they hadn't been to the Rose Bowl in, 58, 62 years.
Yeah, something like that.
They went to the Cotton Bowl the next year in '95. And so that was really, but even those games, right? The Rose Bowl team were they 8-3, 8-4? I mean, they only won 8 games, right? It's not like we're talking about USC and dominating the pack or Michigan, Ohio State. Like that was the equivalent of Northwestern making it from the Big Ten, right? That was the year that Illinois went to the Rose Bowl, and so those were blips. As opposed to that was the exception as opposed to the rule. So without Phil at that point, you presume that Oregon would have fallen right back into that, somewhere in the middle, usually kind of near the bottom state. And not just for football, but for so many other athletic programs, so many other sports, because the rising tide raises all ships, right? Phil says after those 2 seasons, he has a meeting with Coach Bellotti and says, what do you need to get over the top? And Coach Bellotti says, we need an indoor practice facility. All right. That's, and so it would have been my redshirt freshman year. We had the Mashofsky Center was finished. All right. Then what do you need? Well, things are going well. He starts investing. Then you get the stadium expansion. Okay, well, things are going well, and now you get the uniforms. That Oregon becomes the test program for everything in the rest of the country. And as all these things build, now let me take a step back and say it was a fantastic. I don't want to say what's the word I'm looking for. All of the pieces came together. Right, Coach Bellotti hiring Chip, right? The success that we had with our senior class, all those guys that said we're going to go screw this, we're going to go win a national championship. Which, anyway, you start hitting all those stepping stones that all came together because of Phil's investment in the program. So there's, I can't put a tangible, this is exactly where Oregon's athletic department would be without him, but it wouldn't exist in the state that it is right now.
Yeah, because there's still good donors. It's not just Phil, but I mean, I think it's, to me, when that question was posed, I don't think you're Oregon State. I don't think you're Washington State, but I don't think you're Washington. I think you're somewhere. Nope. I think you're somewhere in the middle of all that. I think you're Arizona State, something like that.
But are they left out of the Power Four?
There's a real chance, yes. I believe. Although,
certainly wouldn't have been able to keep up facility-wise.
Well, but you're also, but so here's the thing. But does it become the Power Four without? Because you have to think what has driven these conferences to realign? Money. What has driven the money? Is this part of it? Is this arms race of college football? We need more money. We need more money. Why? Because we're building facilities. Because we're paying for uniforms. Where did that stuff? I mean, let's call a spade here. Oregon was at the forefront of that arms race, right? So if there isn't an arms race in college football to build the biggest facility, to build the best locker room, to build the stadium with the most luxury suites, is there a division of conferences? I mean, or are we still sitting here with the Pac-10, the Big Ten, the Big East, the Big 12, the original Big 12? I mean, I don't know if we're at that point without this explosion of college football.
Yeah, it's tough to know where that would have gone, but I do tell people this, and Joey, I think you can back me up, because we were the same age, so we got recruited maybe a year apart. But facilities. People can't believe me; they just weren't a thing. They weren't. Oregon's were nice; they were just starting to kind of be on the come up, but. Washington sucked. Washington State's were terrible. Oregon State's were abysmal. USC's were bad. UCLA was bad. They weren't. Maybe if I didn't go anywhere in the South, I didn't see any of Alabama or anything like that. But I played at those places and I saw it, and it wasn't anything to write home about. At no point in my recruitment on the West Coast, all the Pac-12 and the Big 12 schools, no one sold me on their facilities. It just wasn't. It wasn't a thing. And that wasn't that long ago. It was 1996, 97.
Well, that's exactly the time frame that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? That was
when it changed.
That was when it started to change. And it started to change because of that conversation that Phil had with Coach Bellotti after the Cotton Bowl. What do you need? And he said, we need better facilities. Yeah. And they started with the indoor. Yeah. And that was kind of the start of it.
Well, I remember that was like the first one of its kind on the West Coast.
Oh my God! I genuinely wonder if we would be sitting here without the start of that arms race.
Wow. Okay. Well, good talk. Good answer.
Okay. Well,
glad
on
you got
that
to.
note,
yeah, glad you got to come back on the show.
You freaking bitch!
I will remember that forever.
Well, that's a nice little dismount right there.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you next week.
That sticks the landing.
Thank you.
God. All right, bye.
Bye. That's Joey Harrington, courtesy of Mods PDX, and I do believe we have a new bitch drop.
Yes, adding into the. You got to admit, the chances of hearing two bitches and one of them not being
I will not admit anything.
In back-to-back, that is a major upset.
I think you need to take responsibility for this listener who is upset with you.
I own it.
Okay?
I own it. I'm just saying.
They've never heard me say that.
I have a feeling when we come back at the next Open, something tells me you're about to hear some.
All right. Well, find out next. Club 1080 on the Fan.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 503-207-6000. That's 503-207-6000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
The home of Danny and Dusty, always live on the Odyssey app, is KFXX, KWJJ, HD2 Portland, 1080, The Fan.
The algorithm we're using is not perfect.
An Odyssey sports station. Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan in the NFL, the 49ers reaching a deal with the Eagles today that'll acquire San Francisco edge rusher Bryce Huff. San Francisco expected to send a middle second-round pick back to Philly in return. Some concerning news in the NBA today as Pelican superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape in a Los Angeles County lawsuit. A pair of Ducks games on the diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opening the Eugene Regional, taking on 4-seed Utah Valley. That one gets started in a matter of moments. You can hear it over on 910 ESPN Portland and see it on ESPNU and ESPN+. Oregon softball is coming off a walk-off loss to UCLA Thursday. They'll try to fight off elimination in Oklahoma City in the College World Series tonight against Ole Miss. That one starts at 6:30 on ESPN. Meanwhile, down in Corvallis, they are already underway as host Oregon State takes on 4-seed St. Mary's. St. Mary's put 3 runs across in the first inning before Oregon State lifted their starter. It's now 3-2 in favor of the Gales in the top of the 4th inning. Sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. The following show may contain adult themes not suitable for children.
Shut the hell up.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Souk.
It does go well with a chicken.
I didn't know hanging out with you was making me smarter. Full disclosure, Morty, it's not. Temporary superintelligence is just a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in your rectal cavity. Oh, man. Yeah. And once those seeds wear off, you're going to lose most of your motor skills, and you're also going to lose a significant amount of brain functionality for 72 hours, Morty. Starting right about now.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Souk is brought to you by Pub Beer, the official beer of cheap fun.
butt.
Do not clip that, you son of a bitch.
Bye, bitch.
Lace him up, you little bitch.
Let's go.
Punch it, bitch.
I mean, I love him, but what a bitch.
She won't even return his calls, you freaking bitch. What is up with that?
She is an aloof bitch.
You freaking bitch.
Because she's bitches behind maintenance.
Kick the ball, you little bitch.
Resourceful little bitch. I'm gonna kick your ass, you little bitch.
Pop me up over there, bitch.
She's a grade A bitch. Grade A prime bitch.
Google me, bitch. He's a bitch.
That whiny bitch.
This son of a bitch.
I told you, dumb bitch.
You're a freaking bitch.
And there you have it.
Yep.
There you have it.
That was exhausting.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
That was a lot.
Freaking bitch.
Boy, that is
Joey.
That is so choice.
God.
Yeah.
He really brought it today.
Yeah, he did.
I'm trying to determine which one is better between the two because they're both usable.
You're a freaking bitch. You freaking bitch.
I like the second one.
Wait, can you? Sorry, I was in the middle of a sneeze. Can you?
Yeah, one more time.
You're a freaking bitch. You freaking bitch.
Second one.
The second one sounds like he's in a mob movie.
They're so good.
You freaking bitch.
Can he say that on the radio?
I don't know.
Did.
Well, someone's unhappy. Now, next time his friend, he can yell at Joey. My favorite of yours, I believe, is the "Can we get a grade A?"
Yeah, one sec.
Yeah.
Hold, please.
That might be.
She's a grade A bitch. She's a grade A bitch. Grade A prime bitch.
That's mine. That's my favorite. When you throw in the prime, because it's like, you went grade A, and you're like, no, there needs to be. So the prime is what makes it. That's my
grade A prime bitch.
The moment of pause, it's just that
you're a freaking bitch.
Man,
yeah, good time.
This show. All right, so let's get back on track. We're gonna spell the spelling bee final word.
You freaking bitch.
And we're gonna assemble the perfect band.
Yeah, we watched a terrible movie last night, and it led to an interesting conversation.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Do you want to give us the word, Buckley, and let us practice during the break?
Sure. And I got to assume, or I got to make sure that I can pronounce the word.
Well, you don't have a clip of them doing like they use it in a...
I do. Hold on. Here it is.
Holding.
Éclaircissement.
What?
Yeah.
Is that
It's
English?
a French word. Hold on. Here it is. A more English pronunciation.
Éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement is the word that won the 100th Script Spelling Bee.
One more time.
Éclaircissement.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
Uh,
origin, please.
Origin is French. You might be able to tell. First known use, 1667.
Éclaircissement.
That's right.
Éclaircissement.
A clearing up of something obscure is what it means.
Éclaircissement.
Also enlightenment.
Boy, I wouldn't even. Can you tell me? I just want to know how many.
Does it start with an E?
Are you? This isn't how the spelling bee works.
No, this is not how it works.
Oh.
I just was wondering how many letters.
A bunch.
Yeah, how many letters is it?
You can't say that. That doesn't.
Dang it.
Éclaircissement. All right.
I'm going to take a shot.
No, well,
15 letters. Good luck.
Well, now, see, that's.
Well, I don't think that's going to help you.
No, but at least I know that there's 50. I could have written one for 4 letters.
Éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement. All right. So now I know I got. That's the only hint.
We'll take a stab at it next. All right. This is the club on the fan.
The Portland Trailblazers are for sale.
Oh my God, this is the best day since? How long has it been since I've felt positive?
Which means
I went ECLAIRSEI, like this. I went with like the same.
You threw in an extra I just because you needed another letter, didn't
Well,
you?
and like the river, right? The river Seine. See, I don't know. I went with that. I don't know why I was thinking the Seine River. So I went SEISAMAHE.
Okay.
Sisima.
I have Eclair, ECLAIR, and then I went SISSEMONE. S.
No, and it wasn't really even close.
All right, what did we get?
What is it? After so we got Eclair,
We got
right?
Eclair right.
From let's see, what was this kid's name? Young? I don't remember his name.
At least we were
Here he
both
is.
trying to think along the same lines.
Yeah.
Éclaircissement. ECLAIRCISSEMENT. Éclaircissement.
That is correct.
No, I wasn't that far.
Yeah, I mean,
I got the S and the C wrong.
And then you got the end of it wrong
ISSE,
too,
I
right?
was right. ISSEM, I was right. But it's meant, not mon. Like, so when they
Yeah.
say mon, it's
There's
spelled
a T,
meant.
yeah.
Yeah, I should have got
One more time.
Éclaircissement. ECLAIRCISSEMENT. Éclaircissement.
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm down.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Love how Rob's trying to claim that he's close.
I am.
You
1,
are-
2,
you
3,
are
4,
not.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 of the 15 letters correct.
Yeah, but not in the right order.
And you
Yes,
also
they
got
were
like
in
the
the right order.
seventh one wrong, so you didn't even make it halfway before
No,
you
I
were
know.
incorrect.
I got the CS wrong. But other than that,
Not bad.
I listen, I'm taking that as a W.
I got it. Rob. All right. Well, hey, you did better than me.
I'm taking that as a W.
Freaking bitch.
Boy, that is so. I'm really enjoying that. It's a
Are we,
nice. It's a nice addition.
Hey, we're on time, right?
Are
So
we?
we can
That's
start
right.
a new. Yeah, so we can. Okay.
Yeah, you got a new
look at us.
story.
So what is the deal with this band
Oh, well,
bit you were talking about?
I got home last night. I met a buddy for a drink, and then I got home, and the BTJ and Oren were watching the third Bill and Ted, which don't. It is such. It's an awful movie. So bad.
No way.
And I tried watching it years ago when it came out. It came out during the pandemic, and I was like, "Why are you watching this?" And he's like, "I don't know. It was on." So they were watching it, and in the plot of that is, of course, Bill and Ted's kids have to save the day, and they're both like teenage girls, because why wouldn't they be? So they have to go back and they use the Bill and Ted time machine to go back and assemble a band that will save the world by playing like the ultimate song, right? And so they go back and they start by getting they get Louis Armstrong, and then they get Jimi Hendrix. They get a caveman to drum for, I don't
What?
know. They get a cave person. I think it's a cave woman to drum.
She
They
not?
get, I think they get Mozart to play the keys. They get like an ancient, like Chinese flautist. They go get some famous, like from the 12th century,
Okay.
to play the flute, and then they get Death from Bill and Ted 2. He's on the bass, and then it's Bill and Ted, right? So that's the band. And I was like, God, this movie is so bad. And my daughter goes, yeah, this movie may suck, but if you had to Bill and Ted it, what's your band? And I was like, oh, you could put together. And she goes, it begins and ends with, and we both looked at each other and we said, Freddie.
Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, we were like literally on the same page. We're like, it begins with Freddie. Like you go back in the time machine, you go back to 1981, and you get Freddie.
He's incredible, but I have a hot take about this.
Okay.
Because you posed this before the show,
Yes.
and so I was thinking about it. And I am not going to go Freddie only because he's incredible.
Yeah.
I want my front man. Let's put it this way: mine is guitar centric.
Sure.
Therefore, I don't like Freddie is almost too much for my band.
He's a showman.
Well, I love the showmanship, but his voice is so big that I want a little bit of I want the guitar to be the
Someone
focal.
who can dial it back a little bit.
And
so
this
the
is
guitar's
one of the
big
things
thing.
we talked about, because what I didn't like about the dumbass Bill and Ted kids, they were all over the map. Like, you gotta, like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this isn't the greatest musicians of all time. I'm forming a rock band. So I went, and she goes, well, what would you do? I said I went lead singer. I went 2 guitar players because I want double guitars. Pearl Jam has double guitars.
I have 3 guitars in my band.
Yeah, that's fine because the lead singer sometimes, like if you got James Hetfield as the lead singer, you would get a rhythm guitarist by default if you want to go that. I went 2 lead guitar. I went Freddie, who doesn't play guitar. I went with a bass player. I went with obviously a drummer, and then
Who'd you put on bass?
Well, we can talk about it.
Oh, not ready to reveal.
Well, I thought we were going to break.
No,
we have
we're
time.
on time,
We're
dude.
on time.
Yeah, we're doing good.
And then I went keyboard player. I want a keyboard player in mind because I think an underrated aspect of a good rock band is a kick-ass keyboard player. So that's what I went with. But you can go with this.
Well, I have 3. I'm only going by humans.
Yeah.
And the sound that I think would just be freaking
Yeah,
rad.
I did not pick. My daughter goes, well, you have to keep death. And I'm like, I understand. But for the purposes of this, I went with a bass player.
I've got 3 guitarists, a drummer, and a singer.
Okay.
And the singer can strum if he wants.
Sure.
Are you ready? Or do you want me to go first?
You want to go pick by pick? You want to go full band?
Yeah, I think you guys should like each pick a front man, then each goes.
So
some
you know
guitars,
mine.
some
Mine
drums,
begins and ends. And
You
that was
went
my
Freddie.
I get in the time machine, and that's my very first pick. Is I'm going back, and we're getting Freddie. I said, brother, we got to save the world and you, so you don't die. Because by the way, we can fix AIDS now. We can't really cure it, but like Freddie doesn't have to die. Freddie, you're coming in here, and we're gonna blow the door off this bitch.
Paul McCartney will be my lead.
I understand.
Because his vocal, I think, fits with what I'm trying to do. You'll see what I'm trying to do.
And it's a little more understated.
Yeah, it's not Freddie.
Yeah. I need AO coming at me.
I got to be honest with you. I really debated this.
Yeah.
Steve Perry. I might go Steve
got
Perry.
some pipes.
So you aren't going with like a hard rock. You're going more.
Well, I
of a-
am,
Oh,
but
you
my
are.
vocalist is not.
Interesting.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Okay. So what do you got, Buckley? You doing anything over there? Are you being a?
Yeah. I like bands. I don't dissect them.
Buckley's out on this bit.
Yeah, I kind of.
Okay, fine.
Buckley,
Screw
are you? Do you not? Is your wife not let you listen to music?
That's right. She doesn't let me listen to music.
Oh, you only listen to like her music, right?
I just listen to her.
That's disappointing.
Can I give you all 3? So I have no bassist.
I like music a lot. I don't think I can go through and be like, I like this drummer from this band. Like, I just like the band, and I like the way they
All
sing.
right, you're out. Shut up.
Shut up.
You freaking bitch.
I have 3 guitarists.
right, you go- you-
I don't know much about bassists.
Well, I'll go 2. So you give me your guitar, I'll go mine.
Well, I have 3 guitarists.
I know. Who's your first guitarist? Who's your first pick?
Do I have to rank them?
Yeah. Who's your first pick? 'Cause again,
Jack White.
oh, okay. My first was I'm getting in the time machine, and he's dead. Some of my guys are alive.
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
okay.
like Jack White, you don't have to. He's alive. You just go meet.
Dead's
Jack.
okay.
Yeah, because you got the time machine.
Yeah.
I'm going back. We're getting Eddie.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
I'm getting Eddie
Okay.
Van Halen.
So Eddie, you've already got Eddie with Freddie.
Eddie with Freddie.
I mean, that right there.
We're bringing some heat.
I mean, you don't need anyone else.
No, we're bringing some heat.
Now, bass, like I said, I don't know enough bassists.
Yeah.
Like
So my bass player
I don't know who.
is and this is the only member of my favorite band that actually made the list. I'm going back and I'm getting, again, all dead so far. I'm getting the late great Cliff Burton, who was Metallica's original bass player. We're gonna Cliff them all.
Okay.
And Cliff Burton was an amazing bass player. I mean, obviously, like the best bass player you already have in the band, dude. Paul McCartney.
Yeah, he played bass. But he did everything.
Yeah, but he was mainly a
Yeah.
bass player.
Yeah.
So you have
could use him as the bassist.
Yeah, you have a bass player and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, but I don't think we need. Well, wait till you hear my trifecta here.
Okay.
So now I've got David Gilmour with Jack White.
Interesting.
Which might make me.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a moment?
Yes.
Now,
I
if one were to
love
wonder, what band is David Gilmour from?
Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Buckley, I've never
Before my time.
I've never come close to slapping you, but if you were in this room, that might have been the one that the back of the hand. Did you just ask? One might inquire what band?
One might.
Okay, so let me ask you this: which is worse, not knowing what band? And by the way, you aren't much younger than us.
No, I'm not.
So which is worse, him not knowing that Wayne Gretzky won a Stanley Cup,
That's worse.
or David Gilmour? What band is David Gilmour in?
I think Gretzky's worse. But
I do too.
yeah, I mean, because he's a sports guy. And then my third guitarist is Tom Morello.
Yeah,
So
Tom's
I
great.
want Tom Morello,
Yeah.
Jack White, and David Gilmour jamming together.
Yeah.
With a combination of Steve Perry or Paul McCartney on vocals and McCartney on bass.
And if someone were to wonder, Tom Morello plays for...
Are you kidding?
I swear to God.
God.
I just no,
shut
seriously.
up. Just stay
Who?
out of it.
Who is it?
He's
the guitarist for who?
He's one of the great guitarists. He was the lead guitarist for what's its nut?
Oh, you don't know either.
No, I just know him.
Uh-huh.
I know his
What
band.
band did he play for?
I forget his band.
Oh!
It's Tom Morello. Everybody knows Tom Morello.
Yeah, Tom
what
Morello,
was his
that
band?
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Rage. That's
Oh,
right.
sure. You
But
had
he
that.
does a lot of stuff outside of
He
Rage.
is widely considered one of the best
Yeah.
guitar players of
So
all time.
Jack White, Tom Morello, David Gilmour, Steve Perry, and/or Paul McCartney up front, and I've got Animal on drums.
See, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
That's what I got.
I didn't
That's
even
my
think.
band.
I didn't even think of Animal.
Yeah, because he'll just. I mean, the sound of this band.
Yes.
Is the guitar of those three geniuses, and it's gonna be gold. It's gonna be gold.
That's really
So Animal can just play along,
really stinking good.
and then Steve Perry can maybe belt out a few.
So I went with Eddie was my first pick. He's my lead guitar. Cliff Burton, Cliff Amal is playing bass. And I know he's still alive, but I'm going back to 1968. I'm getting prime Jimmy Page.
Okay.
Jimmy Page for me, because I know everyone loves Hendrix. His guitar playing is amazing, but I like the Zeppelin stuff better than that. And Jimmy Page to me is him or Eddie are the two greatest guitar players of all time.
I think that's fair.
So I want Jimmy Page and I want Eddie, and we're just dueling. We're just going back and forth between those two. The range of that, plus Zeppelin has. This isn't like a heavy metal. This is like, again, because I got Freddie. We're playing some. This is going to be a little softer hard rock than a true metal. So I got Jimmy Page, because I thought about there's so many good guitar players. You could do Jimmy. You could do
Led
Slash.
Zeppelin. I know that one.
Yeah, at least you.
Hey,
thank
nice.
God you
Buckley's
knew
back.
Jimmy Page. Thank God. Now on the drums.
You think he looked that up?
I did not.
I certainly.
Hand to God, I did not.
Okay. Do you know who the lead singer of Led Zeppelin was?
Robert Plant?
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Robert.
No, it was Robert Palmer.
And then on drums, I'm taking Dave Grohl because, damn it, I want Dave Grohl in my band.
Yeah, you love him.
You know who would appreciate playing with this more than anyone? Dave Grohl is the most, that man loves rock and roll more than any other human being I think that's ever lived. I thought about Taylor Hawkins, but
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But I'm taking Dave, and then the key to this whole thing that's going to bring it together is, again, much like Jimmy Page, I'm not taking Jimmy Page now. I don't want this man now. Because you think about him now, you're going to be like, that doesn't fit in, right? Because we're playing some rock here. But there's some bluesy rock here. I want 1975, coked out of his mind, giant glasses, platform heels, feather boa, sequin, Elton effing John is rounding out my band playing the keyboards.
Wow, okay.
Not this Elton. No.
Flamboyant Elton.
Flamboyant, drugged out Elton.
All right.
And we're bringing the heat.
It's a good band.
And he's back there, lighting pianos on fire. Let's freaking go.
It's a good band.
That's my band.
Have you ever seen there's a YouTube of Jimmy Page, The Edge? Is it The Edge, the YouTube guy?
Yeah.
The Edge?
Yeah.
And Jack White?
Yeah, it's called It Might Get Loud, and it's incredible.
Absolutely incredible.
Yes. It's a documentary about playing the guitar.
Yeah, and those three are just sitting in a room teaching each other licks.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
You got to watch that.
Yeah, it's you can find it. It's wherever. But it's
wherever.
It's Netflix or
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, wherever you want to find it.
Greatness.
Yes. It's really, really good.
All right, well, great job by Ryan Buckley.
Boy, I don't even know
learned
where
something.
to go with that.
Well, we learned something. He's not a big music guy.
No.
He's just not.
Bands are a blind. I shouldn't even say bands are a blind spot. I feel like I know plenty of bands. I don't know the players who make them up.
Can I ask you this? And do you know who made up the Beatles?
Yes.
Do you?
I do.
Oh no.
Who?
John Lennon.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Ringo Starr and George Harrison.
Oh, okay. Because the
It's
Zeppelin
not
one,
that bad. Jeez.
Zeppelin scared me. That you well, you came up with Plant.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Zeppelin drummer was?
No. The other one I got in my back pocket.
I don't know who the
Neil Peart, Rush. Everyone always says he's the greatest drummer ever.
John Bonham is considered to be the greatest drummer of all time, and he was Led Zeppelin's drummer.
Or Neil Peart.
And when Bonham died, that was kind of the end of Led Zeppelin. I'm just happy you knew who Jimmy Page was.
Yeah.
That made me.
I know Keith Richards, too.
I mean, there's so many good ones. Honestly, if it wasn't Freddie, because again, the sort of sound I'm going for, it's not really like a metal. Otherwise, it'd be James Hetfield, who's my favorite band of all time, Metallica. If it wasn't Freddie, I was kind of kicking back and forth on where do you go, and Steven Tyler was one that came to me. Because I kind of want a flamboyant, like, dude, that guy is an absolute machine. And then, as Buckley just brought up, which actually came up with a real name, Mick would also be an incredible Universal frontman.
Well, yeah.
Showman.
I feel like that's low-hanging fruit, though.
I'm just happy he knew who Mick Jagger was.
Well, yeah, and Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Of Aerosmith.
No. I don't know Aerosmith's guitarist, but I know Steve Tyler.
Joe Perry.
Yeah, Joe Perry. The
Also
great.
A great guitar
Joe
player. Yeah. Someone said, I'm with Buck, you guys are music snobs. It's not a music snob to know who.
No, but to shame other people about not knowing music is a snobby music thing.
Well, I mean, some of that is.
You didn't know who David Gilmour was.
Well, Isaac picked Tom Morello and didn't know who he was either.
Oh, I know who Tom Morello is.
No,
That's
you
why
didn't.
I picked him. I forgot his band.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Rage guy,
Yeah.
but I'm a Tom Morello guy.
Yeah. Tom Morello is a savant.
He's amazing.
Yes. One of the
I
great,
just feel like those three guys together would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of it is like you should really know that, as a human being, But maybe that is the definition of snobby.
It's possible.
I think it's like when it's one of those deals like you could be at a bar and there's a game on and then there's the fan who's the super fan or even just the educated fan and they think it's like dumb that the person next to him doesn't know who the weak side linebacker is for the Ravens. And you're like, well, I don't know.
Is the difference between not knowing who the weak side linebacker
What a
is?
terrible comparison. Yeah. The Ravens' weak side linebacker.
Okay,
or
it's
the
more like
front
not
man?
knowing the starting quarterback of the other team. I don't know.
We're not going to get anywhere here.
Well, that's good because we have to break.
Wow.
Here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Musical idiot Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan. In the NFL today, the 49ers reportedly finalizing a trade with the Eagles, in which San Francisco will acquire edge rusher Bryce Huff. The 49ers expected to send a second-round pick back to Philly in return. Some concerning news out of the NBA as superstar Zion Williamson has been accused of rape as well as physical, emotional, and financial abuse in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles County. Pair of Ducks games on the diamond tonight. Oregon baseball opening up their regional in Eugene, taking on 4C Utah Valley. They are underway. It is scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. You can see that one on ESPNU or on ESPN Plus. It's also over on 910 ESPN Portland. Oregon softball coming up on first pitch from Oklahoma City as they face elimination in the College World Series. They're taking on Ole Miss. You can see it over on ESPN. And the Oregon State Beavers got out to a rough start in the Corvallis Regional. They are hosting St. Mary's and currently looking for a score update. It is still 3-2 in favor of the Gales. Beavs trailing by 1 in the bottom of the fifth inning. More sports score stories and potentially band members in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by Beer, the official beer of Cheap Fun.
Double Sun Power!
Keep Lane Tippin.
All right, well, we're winding down here for the week.
Said, but can they fight a gorilla?
Who?
Well, remember, you may have been gone, but the whole
100 men versus
100
one
men
gorilla
versus
thing.
a gorilla, and so there was a whole other thing where it was like, depends on what sort of men. People were like picking, if you had to pick 10 guys to fight a gorilla, that took over the internet for a while, because it was 100 randos versus a gorilla. And then they were like, I don't need 100, I just need 10. It just needs to be 10 of the right men. And so that someone asked, could your band fight a gorilla? It's kind of like,
I think mine could.
Tongue-in-cheek.
Be pretty gritty.
Well, I got a lot of drug use in mine, so you probably got some dudes that are a little, off the rails.
That's what you need to fight a war.
Yeah, I'm not sure coked up Elton John though is doing a whole lot. He doesn't really strike me much as a fighter,
Did you see that John Mulaney did a bit based off of the 100 men fighting a gorilla thing?
No, what did he do?
He did. Apparently, he has a show now.
Yeah,
I think we talked about it.
Like Everyone's in L.A. or whatever.
He brought that.
It's quite good.
I think it's a daily thing now, isn't it?
Well,
I haven't seen it.
I don't know if it's daily. It's a funny show.
I like Mulaney, but I don't know.
Oh, I like how random and just pointless it is.
He himself has said, I don't even know what we're doing here, but they wanted to do a show, and we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes of it. He's great. But he said, could 3 14-year-old boys take him down?
Could how
beat
many?
him up. 3 14-year-old boys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, could he beat up 3 teenagers?
Yeah. And so they actually did it. They brought out a ring, and
did they really?
They had headgear. They were all wearing suits.
Like 3 14-year-olds trying to take take his ass out.
And 3 14-year-olds did take him down rather quickly. It was kind of dumb, but
I kind of want. How did I miss this?
I don't know.
John Mulaney
Wake
fought.
up.
Oh, I see it right here. John Mulaney fought 3 teens. Is John Mulaney in a tuxedo?
Yeah, they're in suits.
Every now and then I'll see random internet video of like MMA fighter takes on, I don't know, 14 karate guys or something like that. Like it's over in Eastern Europe usually, or sometimes it's in Asia. Have you ever seen these, Sook, where it's like, there's one where it's like 3 women attacking 2 dudes or something
yeah, I've
like
seen that.
Like,
where they'll do like one guy versus like 3 little people, or
Right.
4 women versus a man.
And then there's like a group brawl one where they just go like 7 on 7 in a
This
big
Mulaney
cage.
14-year-old thing is hilarious, because I saw that he was talking about that. I didn't know that he actually did.
Oh,
I didn't know they actually did it.
Yeah, they did the whole thing.
Could you take 3 14-year-olds?
I mean, I'd like to think I could, but I don't know. 3's a lot.
Yeah.
They come at you from different angles.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to see Rob take on 3 14-year-olds.
Well, we have
see
a
him
lot.
being annoyed.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Like in our in my jiu-jitsu class, we have teens that roll through there, so I do get to see teenagers. I don't think they're quite as young as 14, but we get high school kids that are in there all the time. In fact, today in class there was a couple kids that were probably 17 years old, and a lot of it too is the size. Like, can you imagine Indomitian Sue at 14?
Yeah, these kids were. I mean,
yeah, they just look like
skinny. They're just like
normal
beanpole.
kids.
Yeah,
they just look like normal. They look like normal kids. So not all 14-year-olds are created equal.
That's
but
fair.
It is hilarious watching Mulaney fight these 3 kids.
He goes down pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, the key is, again, if 2 people grab your legs.
Yeah,
and,
that's one of them went for his leg.
Yeah, you gotta go for
he
the
was
leg.
toast. Pinned him.
I love that they're all in suits and headgear.
I know.
That is amazing. And yes, I would love to see you fight 3 14-year-olds. That would be incredible.
All right. We will wrap it up next on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
I have come to the full realization, and I almost want to publicly apologize for it taking this long, but this is the problem when I don't watch a lot of regular season NBA basketball. I am so out on SGA. I can't do it. I don't enjoy watching him play. It's not entertaining to me. He flops. He gets the benefit of the whistle that seemingly nobody else does in these moments.
Dirt and Spray. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on 1080 The Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
No, it was Monday.
No Monday.
Yeah. So 4-day work.
20 hours.
I'm exhausted though.
Woo, doggy.
Yeah.
Hey, who was in? It was Nemec did the 3 shows with me. Well, you were gone for 6 shows, so Buck did 3, and then Nemec did 3. And it was on the 3rd day we were getting ready to get done, and Nemec goes, "Dude, I am so embarrassed," but he goes, "I'm kind of tired," and I'm like,
Yeah.
No one should ever think that this is like a difficult job, but if you've never done it before,
it's difficult to do well.
Yes, but if
anybody can talk for 4 hours,
but they can't. They cannot.
No, they can't.
Well, I just mean, you know what I mean.
And there is kind of a weird mental strain to trying to do that and stay on for that period of time.
I tell people, like, when you get done with the end of the week, and he only did half a week. Well, 60%. 60%. When you finish a full week, 4 hours, or even just sometimes you do a show and you're done, you are tired. There's some sort of mental drain to it.
It's hard to perform this well for so long.
And then you tell that to your spouse and she tells you to shut your stupid face.
Yeah. I still don't think, I've been with my wife longer than we've had this show.
Yeah.
And I still don't think she really respects my prep time.
No.
Like, she doesn't care.
No.
It just looks to her like I'm sitting on the couch on my laptop.
The BTJ loves to actively tell whoever is in the room how little I do. Like, we'll be there with our friends or whatever. We're meeting someone and they're like, "Oh, what do you're the radio guy, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And before anything else I've had this conversation at least a dozen times where one of her friends, "Oh, you do the radio thing." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then from the back, BTJ over the top, "He doesn't do anything. He never works." And you're like, "Thanks."
Jeez.
Thanks, honey.
There's such I think that it stems from jealousy.
It is.
Of our
100%.
situation.
But also to a lot of people, it seems like showing up, punching the button, and just talking. And that seems easy to people, but it's not exactly
It's
that.
not, yeah.
Because we've
People
done it
are
where
stupid.
we've done it where, like, we used to auction off hours or whatever, or FM DJs would come in here who are on the radio, but they talk for 6 minutes an hour, and they'll do like 40 minutes, and they're like, "Oh my God, how do you do this?" And you're like, not so. So I always say it's like juggling. If you know how to juggle, it's just juggling. But if you're not a juggler, have fun. Have fun standing on stage or being like a Benihana chef. Imagine just showing up there and then being like, "Yeah, make the choo-choo train, make the volcano." If you don't know how to do it, you're effed. For me, it'd be like a long-haul trucker. If you put me in like an 18-wheeler and I had to back it up, I just quit on the spot. I'm like, I'm done.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in an 18-wheeler into a...
Done. I just quit.
Wasn't that like your worst story ever, backing in the boat or something?
Yes. I was. My buddy had a big, I don't know, like a 28-foot boat that I had to pull. And then he was trying to have me back it into the water. And it was a busy day, and people are like flipping me off and yelling at me. And a lady came over and she took pity. And she goes, do you want some help? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, do you just want me to do it? And I got out of the car and let a stranger, a lady, get behind the wheel. And I was like, you know what? And she was awesome.
Freaking punch it, bitch.
Yeah. She got behind the wheel of the Navigator, backed that bitch in. And you could tell, like, she was like, looking, I'm like, I don't care. It was the most emasculating moment. I was so happy that it was done. And I refused to pull that boat ever again.
Yeah, it's just, I think that's another one of those things that's just practice. You just got to do it.
No, I can't.
But
I'll never do it again.
You'd learn.
I don't care. I'll never do it again.
Over time.
It's why I don't own a boat.
Yeah. It is a terrifying...
Yeah. You can hear my voice. I'm panicked now. I'm reliving the trauma.
It's not terrifying because it's that hard. It's terrifying because we're not good at it, and we know that it would take a long time.
And on a busy day, those ramps, it's like...
Yeah, people are waiting to get in there.
One dude was like honking at me, and I leaned out the window. I'm like, you think that effing helps?
Nice.
Yeah, and
you
then
should go punch it, man.
It does. It turns into one of those where I'm like, you come over here and say...
You freaking bitch.
I wish I knew that lady's name. I never even got to thank her. She just like left. I was like, thank you. She might have been a spirit. That might have been a celestial being.
Yeah.
In that moment, God came down.
It's called an angel.
Exactly. It's like,
Girl,
this
you something else.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. According to Buck, it's a holiday, but I don't think it is.
You never know.
We're back Monday. 3 to 7 on Fake Night.
Chips of